What's going on, everyone? It's Nina Infinity. Welcome to my channel on this Sunday night where we discuss usually entertainment topics or a series that we're checking out at the time, which happens to be Hawkeye today. Episodes 1 and 2, we'll be recapping and reviewing the first 2 episodes of Disney Plus's Hawkeye, Marvel's Hawkeye. For those that don't know, this is, I think, the third or fourth installment now of the Disney Plus series of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It was something. We're here to talk about it. With me tonight, we have Script Doctor. How are you, Script Doctor?
I am cold, but I am otherwise great.
I see you growing that beard.
Oh yeah, it's -2 where I am in Canada right now.
Oof.
Oh gosh.
Oh, that's cold. That's cold. That's why I moved away.
That was very smart of you.
Keep warm, man. Keep warm. Tell everyone where they can find you.
Thanks. You guys can find me on Twitter at ScriptDoctorPhD and on YouTube at youtube.com/ScriptDoctor, where I have reviews and analyses of film and television.
Excellent. And everyone's links is in the description down below, so definitely make sure you're checking it out. And we also have Teresa Martin, Miss Martin Muses, with us. How are you, Teresa?
Hey, I'm doing good. Just sitting here in sunny Florida, enjoying the not Canada weather.
Yeah, same here in Cancun.
Yay.
We're in good place. Yeah, Teresa is also on the YouTube. So do you want to tell everyone where they can find you?
Oh, well, you can find me here in Miss Martin Muses, where I talk about what makes me laugh, makes me cry, makes me happy, makes me sad, or what really ticks me off. Right now, we're doing some Two Towers book discussion. Gonna have some specials coming up with Lady Gravemaster and Steve Kenobi. We're gonna do The Wheel of Time, and they know their stuff. Yeah, so it's gonna be really
Lady
good.
Gravemaster had that review that Bounding Into Comics covered. I heard very bad things from her about this series.
Oh yeah,
so that should be fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of those for the rest of us. So maybe if you haven't read the books, I've only read one of them, like me, you can ask them anything, ask them about the Amazon series. So it's going to be loads of fun. It's going to be for the rest of us. And there's going to be another Once Upon a Time one with Minority Home and Biggles.net season 1. So
nice.
Come and give me a sub and let's have some fun.
Excellent. And yes, Teresa's link is in the description. Check her out. And then we have Jayne Theory. What's going on?
Hello. Everything's great. Happy to be here.
Awesome. I see you're Christmas ready.
I am. I love Christmas. It's great.
I wish my background was as easy to do as an avatar. It is not. I tried to put on my lights today, and it wasn't going my way. So I was like, I'm done. But yeah, so I'll do that later. But it's good to see you in the Christmas spirit.
Yes.
Tell everyone where they can find you, Jayne.
You can find me on YouTube, where I post movie and television reviews. You can also find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at Jayne Theory.
Excellent. And we are also going to be joined by George Molo later today. He's just running late, but he will be here later as well. And I look forward to hearing his point of view on this series. 200 Watt Studios for $2 says, hey, Nina, or should I say Santa baby? Hey, what's going on? Just wait. I have like this amazing Christmas outfit planned out for Christmas. It's gonna be amazing. Things are gonna get real spicy on this channel. Joker Voice says, to quote as one word, boring.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, it kind of seemed like that, didn't it? I tried to watch it last night. Mind you, it was late. Okay, I was very, very late, and I was very, very tired. I had a long day. And I literally watched like 10 minutes of it and I was out. Like I was out like a light. And then I woke up because it was like all this like crashing going on in the scene. And I was like, oh no, I have to restart this again tomorrow. Yeah, so let's begin. Because we will be covering both episodes. So since we're going to be doing that, we're not going to do like a scene by scene breakdown on every episode. I think we should just go into like what we felt about both of the episodes, so it doesn't like take forever. And then I'll go through and we'll just find some scenes to talk about on each episode. But let's get the overall thoughts first. So, Script Doctor, what did you think overall about the first 2 episodes of Hawkeye?
Slow and boring. Tries to inject some of that Whedonism humor
It did,
from
didn't it?
Avengers. I don't think it did too well. There are some aspects I could really relate to in being in the Clint Barton position and being stuck with a kid that doesn't know what they're doing. I really related to that far more than I wanted to. And yeah, I think a lot of people in the LARPing community are going to be upset with the interpretation of them.
Wait, the LARPing community? What's that?
That's a live action role playing, usually in a medieval setting.
Yes.
Oh, the Renaissance Fair.
God, that whole thing. Yeah, that was interesting because I thought that they didn't paint those people in the best of light either,
No.
and I thought
they didn't. I mean, the one thing that's kind of true is that yes, there are some police officers and firemen and paramedics that do that stuff, but they don't do some of the more childish things that were just demonstrated in this part.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's not what happened.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Teresa.
I was just gonna say, and that's not what happens at LARPing events. It was a total misrepresentation of the way what even happens there and their knowledge of it. They made it look like it was just a bunch of children on Halloween.
Yeah, they don't reconcile the fun versus the seriousness of the game, so to speak, is what my understanding. Because I've only supervised this stuff by taking my godchildren to do these things, and they don't have like fictional or imaginary chalices or drinks or potions of that nature.
Exactly.
They don't make clinging or clanging sounds when they hit.
Was this in the second episode or the first one?
Yes.
This is the second one, yeah.
Okay, I'm just trying to find the scene so we can show people what they're talking about. Sorry, keep going.
It's basically there's a bunch of red herring moments throughout the entire first 2 episodes just to delay action of this movement of the story, and at the same time there's some contrived actions that are presented so that they can facilitate certain beats within the story. It was very, very odd.
Yeah, that was very odd. So here's a scene of the LARPing people. Apparently that's what they're called. I had no idea that was even a word.
Yeah, a live action
role playing game.
Role play.
Like if they were to have like say chalices and potions, they'd be like Kool-Aid that they use actual liquids. In this one they didn't, which I'm like, I don't think that's
It was pretend. Like it was like, oh, here's the potion, and I was like, what the fuck? They're not that crazy over there. Like,
but I kind of thought that it was being portrayed from how he perceived it, but then again, I don't think they gave it that much thought. But that was my initial thought.
And they do the same thing.
Silly to him.
They do the same thing with living historians, and I have been a living historian for a great deal of my life, and they always make fun of us. It's like, no, we're actually really serious historians, and we know our stuff.
Yeah, well, granted, I made fun of Jayne Seymour in the Tudor house because she talked about how important it was to groom the king's stool, and I'm like, I can't let that slide.
Oh, that's funny. Oh man. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I don't know. This whole scene, I thought I didn't think it was great either. Like I thought that they were kind of making fun of these people, and I was like, I mean, these are a lot of your fans. I don't know why you would want to make fun of them. But
well, I mean, I would not be surprised if there are fans of Marvel who like to LARP. That's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's not the way LARPing is.
Yeah, it was just really just needlessly drawn out to be like, hey, let's do something fun and silly with Clint Barton.
It was such a long scene, though, too. It was like, oh my god. Yeah, I was like, is this gonna end? Like, really? Like, is this gonna have anything to do with the actual show? Like,
it had nothing to do with the show.
There's
no reason for him to have the suit in the first place.
No. But we'll get there. Okay,
yeah,
so
we'll get to the plot.
Yeah. Overall thoughts, Teresa.
Well, my overall thoughts were it wasn't terrible. It wasn't it wasn't painful. On the Padme scale of 0 to 10, which means 10 losing the will completely to live, this was 3 Padmes.
Oh my god.
But that's the most I can say about it. It didn't make me mad, except for the LARPing stuff. It didn't give me any emotion. I could have been watching paint dry and maybe had similar feelings about it.
Okay. All right. That's fair. What about you, Jayne? Overall thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it was boring. It was uneventful. I think they took a very safe approach, but at the same time made really dumb decisions with the story. And at the end of the day, beyond the first, I don't know, 20 minutes, well, maybe not even that much, maybe the first 15 minutes of the first episode, nothing else interesting happened.
Mm,
And
yeah.
I felt like it was a complete waste because they could have just introduced this character the way she's introduced in the comic, and it would have been a whole lot better, made a whole lot more sense. But instead, they stuck Clint in the middle of this nonsense, and it just made him look ridiculous.
I am not familiar with the comics, so can you tell us a little bit more about that? Do you know how she's introduced in the comics?
It's interestingly, I mean, one of the things I got into in my live about it was they have the gala that she attends, right? That's when we first see her. And in the comic, it's the same thing. Like that's where she meets these other people who will eventually become the Young Avengers or whatever. But at the gala is where she's first introduced, and she's wearing this beautiful sort of purple gown because that's like her signature color or whatever. And here they
She's
put
a
her
boy.
in a man's like exactly.
Yeah.
She's dressed like the waitstaff.
Why?
She was dressed like the wait staff, which I
That was
like,
done
what?
deliberately so she could sneak around with the rest of the waitstaff.
Yeah, I mean
It was
that
just
whole
dumb.
I was waiting for a comment too from her to like some sort of feminist comment where when that guy came up to her and was like, "Can you please wear a like a dressier thing at the wedding?" Like, and I was like, I was waiting for her to make some sort of comment like, "Oh, you know, welcome to 2020, you fucking old white bastard," or something. I don't know. Where women can wear suits. But speaking of white men, here's George.
Hello.
Hey, George.
How you doing, everyone?
Hey, George, what's
Hello.
going on? George,
Oh,
George is
nothing.
here.
You look great with your Santa hat.
Thanks. Good to see you. I'm glad
to see
you
you.
drove safe and you're here.
No, I didn't drive safe. I drove as fast as I could. But
Oh
I got here
no.
safe.
Okay. Well, you're here. Really quick, 200 Watt Studios. Thank you so much for the 5. Says Nina, why worry about the background when the foreground is the best thing in the room? Wow, you smooth talker. You keep them coming. And Joker Voice 5 says Black Widow gave a perfect plot to start the show, but no MCU gonna MCU. Hawkeye's going to be the sidekick in his own show.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's that all seems not great. 200 Watt Studios again for another 5. Thank you so much. Says historical reenactors is reenactors is a serious thing. They take history seriously. If you saw the movie / mini series Gettysburg, they used Civil War reenactors. Actually, I knew about that. I haven't seen it, but I knew that they did that because those guys take like their history very, very seriously. So they know their stuff. Everyone's saying hi to George. George.
Hello, everyone.
Hey,
Great to be
Gaston's
here.
here.
Thank
Yeah.
you,
Hey,
everybody,
Script
for
Doctor,
being here.
Jayne. Hello.
Hey, George.
How y'all doing?
Hello.
Cold, but otherwise great.
Right.
Love the cold.
too.
I guess before we keep going into this, George, give us your overall thoughts of the first 2 episodes before we start.
Neuter fest of where Barton barted his balls and turned
There you
himself.
go.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I couldn't believe Hawkeye, Jeremy Renner of all. It's like Disney's taking all the alpha male heroes one by one and neutering them, turning them into eunuchs. It's just like, how do you appear in a show that has your name, even though I know it's transitioning between him and Kate Bishop, but literally be a co-star in your own show? It's just hard for me.
It was a little difficult to watch, but I knew it was going
Especially
to
because
happen, so I was
also
prepared.
unwilling. He's an
Right.
unwilling co-star because he doesn't want to be there. He wants to be with his family.
Right.
Yes.
His
Yeah,
kid's
that's a great
annoying.
point.
This gang's annoying. The whole show's annoying.
He's a reluctant hero. He's kind of like the Stephen King reluctant hero, someone who doesn't want to be there. I really like that, Jayne. That was perfect.
That was funny. So yeah, this is her suit. This
Mm.
is her ugly ass suit that she's wearing. And then this dude comes up and he's like, yeah, like you're wearing a tuxedo like me, and like maybe you could wear something more ladylike for the wedding. And she's just like,
Oh, he said that to compliment her so she doesn't steal away attention from the bride, which would be her mom.
right. Yeah. That
Like if
whole
you wear a
thing.
dress, people won't be looking at you wearing a suit.
Even
Grumpy
though
old
there was
ninja saying George, hola, and hail. And also Grumpy, I hope you're feeling better because he was in the hospital on
Oh,
Friday.
man.
So hopefully
Feel better.
you're feeling better.
Yeah, I hope
man.
you're recovering well.
Hell yeah.
Really quick before we get more into this, let's just start at the beginning really quick because I know that there was a whole bunch of stuff at the very beginning. So we first
Yeah.
meet Kate as a little girl.
I like this part.
You like this part?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this part too. We first meet her as a little girl. She's with her mom. Her mom is just whatever. And then she stuff starts happening outside. You find out it's the Avengers. They're battling it out, and then she sees Hawkeye kicking ass. And I can't pinpoint that scene for some reason, but she sees Hawkeye kicking ass, and then realizes that that's who she wants to be. Like that, she kind of sees him like falling from this building, throwing arrows, and she realizes that that's who she wants to be like. Then her mom comes and grabs her, and then we kind of go into the funeral because she loses her dad, so it's like her and her
But
mom
she's
now.
very close to.
Yes.
And the dad was okay. I mean, he was not presented as a jerk or anything of that nature.
No, the dad was good. It was actually a really good start to the show. I actually was very impressed with how they introduced the father and daughter relationship because you don't see that anymore.
No.
I thought that was really well done.
And they also tried to lay the foundation for her skill and ability by showing how he was training with her in rock climbing and sort of all different types of sports and things too, with
Right.
the photographs of them together.
I
That's
actually,
true.
Yeah, they were
actually thought-
adventurers if they were.
Yeah, I actually thought it showed more of the mother's hidden skills. When she popped that thing in her mouth, that it was a piece of fruit or something from the cereal. I think they were showing actually that she has a background
Oh
somewhere.
yeah, that she had skills. That's
Yeah,
true.
it wasn't just the daughter. Plus, we never saw the father die. So I
Right.
still think that there's some surprise there. Just because Hollywood, when they don't show a dead body, it means that most of the time they're coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it usually does. I mean, well, this is a more interesting one. We don't show the cause of death, but we do see a funeral, we see a coffin, we see a picture. So we're supposed to assume that there is a body in there, and I would prefer if there was, because I don't think
Right.
coming back type of thing is going to be as rewarding.
I agree with you. The only thing I would say is because when we caught them in the beginning, when she was listening in on the conversation, there was something between the husband and wife where they're talking about, some type of money troubles and we have to sell the penthouse. And so it was kind of like, well, that's really good timing. They didn't show how he died. They just show,
Yeah, I mean, he could have faked his
insurance
death.
money.
We don't
Take
know
his
that.
death, let the wife, to use the insurance money to start Bishop
Right.
Security, which is what she'd have, and then he's just kind of like eases his way back in.
Yeah.
But then we have the other red herring, which will come later on as we get further into this.
I just wanted to quickly point out the scene. This is the scene that George was talking about when he said that she popped something in her mouth. Don't get any dirty ideas. It was a piece of carrot.
This is how she secured that marriage.
Well, are you already going there?
Just telling you. And also, like the way she did it was she like
It was really good.
Yeah, it was
leverage.
good.
I mean,
She
that
slapped
takes
that
skill.
fork,
It wasn't luck.
and it like flipped like a carrot into her mouth, and I was actually kind of impressed. I'm like, man, this girl does have like some mouth skills. Okay, great.
I think there's even a callback later where you see a similar scene between Kate and the fight that happens downstairs where
Yes.
she pops a bottle, if I remember. Is that right, Script? There's like a
Yeah,
bottle.
it's a nice wine bottle. Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think they're trying to draw a comparison that, it's not only Kate that's spent her life, in acrobatics, martial arts, and shooting
She picked
arrows.
up, she picked up family skills as well, like what her
Right.
parents taught her. She incorporated into her the other stuff, because I think the opening credit montage, even though it was animated,
Mhm.
was effective to show that this is
Yeah.
what she's been spending her life doing.
I really like that opening.
and And that's actually what we're going to talk about next. But real quick, 200 Watt Studios, thank you so much for the $2. Says girl in a tuxedo. I thought that was Anna. I'm not going to lie, 200 Watt Studios. I laughed a lot because I thought that was like the whole Anna thing. Because Anna, that Star Wars girl, it's like a known thing now that she wore a tuxedo to a friend's wedding. And there's been pictures of it, and a lot of people have had comments. So when I saw that, I thought about her immediately to 200 Watt Studios. Just it was an inside joke.
One question I have is though with her tuxedo, and I was going to ask y'all if y'all noticed it in script, especially. Did you notice that her mother said, "I have your red dress laid out for you," but then the next thing you see her in black? Is that like a bad edit, or is that a choice from the writers?
I think that's a choice to show that she and her mom, while they love each other, she likes to butt against the authority.
Yes, that's what I thought too. Like she was doing the opposite of what the mom wanted because she's a rebel and whatever for whatever reason. Ian so forth, thank you so much for the 10. Says I usually try to avoid internet cliches, but in terms of Hawkeye writers, it's tell me that you missed the point without telling me that you missed the point.
That is good.
You ain't lying. You ain't lying. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. So then in this scene at the funeral, the mom's like, we're going to have to protect each other, blah, 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 I'm going to be there for you forever kind of thing. And tell me what you need. And immediately she goes, can I have a bow and arrow? I thought she was going to say, can I have a trainer? But she said, can I have a bow and arrow, which makes sense. Then we get this huge montage of like this, her story. And at first, you see the mom standing there. So the mom's obviously very involved in her training. I didn't know that the mom could use a bow and arrow or train
she's
her.
Paying for it.
Yeah, I guess she's paying
she might
for
just
it.
be observing.
But it's also kind of it's not foreshadowing. The word just leapt out of my mind. It's when Hawkeye, you remember in Hawkeye when he was training his daughter, she had that same pose.
Yeah.
Right.
So I was like, not foreshadowing? It's
well, it's a parallel.
A parallel, or I guess, an homage back to them.
Well, I definitely, you could definitely see her like as she's growing up, her mom's still with her, still helping her train. So that's one of the things I realized was like, I didn't think that she actually had a trainer. I think her mom trained her. Because that's what we see here. I don't think she had a mentor. But as Jayne and I were talking behind the scenes, and it seems like she did have a mentor for a bunch of other shit, like sword fighting.
Well, she took classes. She took
normal
classes for the other
I think she took classes for everything, and her mom just paid for it, but was there to support her and watch her practice and compete and all that.
There she is, fencing.
She's rich,
Yeah, because she's a fencer. These are all the different trophies she's got. So
and we see more of those at her apartment and
yes.
talk about it in her room. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So she's
probably on all the school teams.
I mean, this girl has all the time in the world. She's a gymnast, dancer, freaking God knows, like archer, fencer, probably
dance.
like every single martial arts you can think of, master. I mean, this girl, there's no shortage of time. I don't know how she does her studying to actually learn things in school, but that's where we're at. The other thing I did notice about this, and I realized that this was the first episode, but it didn't get any better with the second episode, was that again, we have no major theme. There's no score. There's no this is Hawkeye's show. We don't have that. There's no score or anything like that tells you. At least even Loki had that.
His music.
There's no signature sound.
There's no signature.
Well, they did
sound
use a motif, and it sounded so similar. The motif that they used sounded so similar to the one used in the Lion Witch and the Wardrobe. It was very distracting to me. They just
interesting.
Yeah, if you listen to it, I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah, there's you hear it first when he's kind of falling, and they use it. They do tend to use it in this, and then in this score part, it goes the dun 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 dun, but then it goes like da to say, "Hey, this isn't Lion Witch in the Wardrobe; it's something else." Listen to it again; you cannot miss it.
Okay.
Yeah, poor Harry Gregson Williams is going, "What the fuck?
What the hell is going on here?"
At first, I actually
she's also a thief and can break into places.
Well,
Of
she
course
failed
she
breaking
can.
into
Couldn't
that
pick the
one.
lock, yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, and then she
Well,
decided to climb.
But
the
she can
building.
climb because
She's
we
like
saw
a
her rock
young
climbing.
Avenger or
She's like a
Vagender.
Spider-Man, but not really. I gotta say, I do. At least, at the very least, they have. She has long hair. So I do appreciate that they didn't give her some sort of boy haircut.
Captain Marvel
Yet,
hair.
not yet.
Yeah, no Carl.
Not yet.
Yeah, she's gonna turn Carl
no.
Ranverse. It's gonna
Oh
happen.
no!
You think
God
so?
damn it.
Come on, really? Y'all think they're gonna pull that one too? They're gonna do the
Of
Captain
course, they're
Marvel?
gonna cut her hair. They can't
Oh,
have a
you
woman
think she's
looking
gonna
like
have
a woman.
like the shaved head, like the
I think
shaved
so.
side?
Well,
Oh,
I
Shaved
thought-
side.
By the
That would
end.
be
Well,
kind of typical.
I just thought since they've basically cockblocked, Hawkeye, they'd at least leave her as a more feminine woman instead of going that Captain Marvel route.
Nah, they
Joker
can't have
Boy
a
says
woman be
the
a woman.
music at the end of episode 2 was dope, though. I'll take your word for it because as soon as it was over, I shut it off. So I didn't listen to the score at the end of the show.
Yeah.
I think the evolution of her is going to be into the short haircut thing.
Okay.
Oh God!
I believe
I
y'all.
hope
I
You
don't
heard
want
it here
to.
first.
I believe you. I don't want to, but I believe you. I believe you.
Yeah, I don't want to. Oh, okay. Here we go. What did everyone think of Rogers the
Oh
musical?
my
It was
God.
very
She was
Broadway.
the best part of
Very
the
Bro-
whole thing.
I
loved
hated
it.
it.
I
It was
hated
so
it too.
bad, but it
I
was
didn't
so
like it at
bad,
all.
and it's so typical of the shite is coming out of Broadway nowadays.
I
It
like
reminded
the
me of
scene.
Hamilton, the same colors as Hamilton. It reminded me of.
Yes,
The
yeah,
yellow.
I think
and
they meant that. They meant that. They
What's
Oh,
really
okay.
tragic is that in old school Broadway, all the actors would be in full costume, like try to look as authentic to the team as possible, not wearing hoodies and jeans and dancing around. And oh gosh,
it's like
it was
Rent meets Hamilton meets
Oh.
goodness knows what.
anything with any comparison to Rent is usually a bad sign.
Exactly. And did you notice how they even had race swapping in the stage version?
No, I didn't. I didn't
What?
catch
Also,
that.
the
No.
black
Yeah.
man.
Okay, I'm
the
gonna
whole
freeze frame
and
so
all
we can
that,
check that out. But
Who was
I just want
swapped?
to take a moment to
I thought Hulk was green.
Hulk was green.
Right,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
who
Well,
was
they
was
painted the
green, but
black
he was-
man green.
Oh.
Yeah, he was
But
played
I
by a
just
black
wanna-
guy, and then they had an Asian dude playing not Asian. Never mind. Okay, we'll just wait till we see it.
I'm
but-
gonna go
Yeah.
into the scene so we can look. But I just want to take a moment and say this scene was really cool because they're both making the same mouth expression. Like,
Yep.
like what the F are we watching here?
I thought it
Um,
was sad because he's clearly having post-traumatic stress
Yeah.
issues right now.
Yeah.
That you know what? I gotta say that was one of my favorite scenes in this whole show was when he was watching Black Widow dance
Black
around
Widow.
and the zoom in that they did. I thought that was I really enjoyed seeing that. Like there he is. He's just
Yep.
he's just in encapsulated by her, only her, and like he doesn't even see anything else. So wait, is this Hulk? That's not Hulk, is it?
Yeah, that's Hulk.
Is it? Oh my god.
Yeah.
I don't.
And I think
know.
the kid in the jersey is supposed to be Ant-Man.
Yeah,
Oh,
maybe it was
really?
Ant-Man was the one that was. Yeah.
Is it
Okay.
Thanos?
And the
Did
Hulk
they
was
say-
played by a black guy, if I'm correct.
There we go.
Yeah, I
there
see what
we
you're saying.
Oh
Maybe
my
he's
god.
green.
And this is supposed
Well,
to be
he is
recounting
green,
the
yeah.
Avengers versus the Chitauri in the first
Right.
Avengers film. So it's
Dude, the guy with the green face, that's
I just think
so
he's supposed to
cheap.
be green. I don't think he's supposed to be a race swap.
Well, no,
course.
I just noticed that it was played, and then the dude who plays Ant-Man there.
What is that? That's like Tiny Tim or something.
This one?
What the hell?
Bless us, everyone.
Oh my
I know, but
God.
what is he representing? Is that like the Eternals? Not the midget, the drunken. Yeah, it's like a drunken midget at the end of Eternals, whose name I can't remember. But my God, look at him with the Avengers. I mean, we would have noticed that in the movie. It's like, here we go. Here's Ant-Man. You can fit in your pocket.
Yeah, and Ant-Man is like literally like an ant. Like he's like this short. Like what?
I
No.
guess it's a short joke that they're making. Someone
He's
is
an
making.
ant.
but at least they made the joke. Clint made the joke that Ant-Man wasn't there.
Ant wasn't there. They did.
Yeah, it's
they
kind
did
of-
make that joke. That was funny.
Who's playing Thor? Was that a famous actor? Because I heard
think
something
so.
a week or two ago that there was someone who's going to do a cameo. How they did it in Thor Ragnarok, where
Like the roommate cameo.
yeah, they were supposed to be. I just didn't know if y'all knew. The person playing
no.
Thor on stage.
Everybody Google.
I don't know. I didn't see. Yeah, you guys Google and you let me know. What did you guys think of the daughter's performance?
She was good.
Yeah, same one as she gave before. Isn't that Russo's daughter?
I think
Russo?
so.
I think it's Russo's daughter. One of the Russos.
Oh, I
She
didn't know
just
that.
she just kept
Yeah.
reminding me that she should be the new Hawkeye.
You
That's the
know,
only thing
I
I kept
thought.
thinking. I couldn't get that
I
out of
thought
my
that too.
head.
I thought
Right.
that too.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
thought that.
understand why his daughter wouldn't be the new Hawkeye. I mean, it's like it's an automatic go-to. Like she grew up with him, she knew
Right.
him, he would have trained
She was
her.
practicing archery and
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it was just really weird. And it's like, let's go and have a whole other girl and have a whole other story. It's like you already have this story. I don't know, whatever. Maybe they're gonna team up. Maybe they're gonna team up.
It was Chris Hemsworth's brother on stage as
Oh,
Thor.
was it? There you
which
go.
one? He's got like 3.
I don't know. The Joker's
Clearly
voice
it's the
is
skinny
saying it
one.
in the chat.
That was Chris Hemsworth's brother as stage Thor. Okay. That's interesting.
One thing I
Oh,
didn't like
in
about
Ragnarok.
the daughter.
In
Oh.
Ragnarok or this?
Sorry. What was that, George?
No, sorry.
Jayne, what were you saying?
Oh, I was just saying that one of the things I didn't like about her was that she seemed to just reflect back his emotions and his thoughts, like she projected it back. And then his son, the youngest one, was basically projecting the audience's opinion. Like he said, "Why are we even here? Like, why is this a play?" It didn't even. It's just the kids didn't have a purpose other
Yeah,
than
I didn't get
existing.
that either because outside, like when they went outside, I think it was around here. Oh, this part was awkward.
That's real life though. That's unfortunately.
Yeah, that was definitely weird and awkward. I mean, he gets stopped. Basically, he gets stopped by like some dude in the toilet and asks him to take a picture. And it's like, dude, when this little kid was like, "What are we watching? Is this what you're talking about?"
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, "I don't know," and I'm like,
Meta.
That's pretty much what everybody's thinking right now. That little kid is all of us. Like, what the hell did we just watch? Like, it was
Yeah.
the most bizarre thing. I thought I would like it a lot more than I did, but the only thing I liked about that scene was when he just like zoomed in on Nat. Well, not Nat, but you know what I'm talking about, like Black Widow as the character. It just really showed that he was still really hung up on her death, and he's still really mourning that loss.
I just that part I got. I just didn't understand why. What would suggest for Clint to go see this show? Like, I mean, you're going to New York to celebrate Christmas with your family to make up for lost time because he's had 5 years without them, and it's been instant for them. So there's no real change on their part, and he just wants to do all the things that he wish he could have done over those past 5 years. And I mean, taking your kids to a Broadway show is great, but to Rogers, really? Like that's you want to see the Steve Rogers one? Would you rather see like, Hairspray or
Yeah, like something else.
or Fiddler on the Roof or like, something that
The Nutcracker. It's
the
like
Nutcracker.
freaking,
well, it's a ballet, but yeah, that'd be a fantastic
but
one.
I mean, that's a show.
There are other shows that are run constantly on Broadway that are far.
They could have seen The Phantom.
Oh yeah, Phantom of the Opera would
I
be
love
great.
the Phantom.
Oh, yeah, I love The Phantom too. But honestly, at first, I thought when I saw him in the audience and realized what was going on, I thought it was one of those deals where whenever they have a new Broadway show and they try to get like celebrities to come, like every time they do a revival of The Sound of Music, they try to get Maria's son in real life, who's one of the few that's still alive, to come see it so they can go, look, he's there and he's at their show. I thought it was like a celebrity thing, but then that that would be the reason that would make sense, and he'd be like, fine, I'll go. But he was just there for no reason whatsoever, but just there with his kids. Yeah.
Jayne, can you read Eric K's super chat?
Sure, he says Jayne's voice alone could launch 1,000 ships. Thank you.
Yeah, beautiful.
That's so sweet. Eric,
we're
you're
having a
so
war
sweet.
over Jayne. Woohoo! I think that's awesome.
So as the story progresses, though, we see this chickie. She's always in a bad mood. I found with her mom. Like it was weird because like she did something wrong.
Yeah,
yeah, she did something wrong. So she's like, oh, I'm going to cancel your credit cards and this, that, and the other. Like kind of giving her like the consequences of her actions. And this part I had a problem with because she's like, okay, so you are like you're rich and like young people who are rich and like basically like don't what did she say? She said you're rich and you have something else that's going
You're
for you.
rich
What
and
was
young, and that makes you feel
And you
That's
take
it.
vulnerable.
risks. And you take
Yes.
risks. Yeah, you feeling
Yeah.
vulnerable or something.
And it's like, I don't understand, even if she's rich, like she couldn't, like she doesn't understand monetary value. Like she's never had a job. Like she actually still has
She
her
works for her
mom
mom.
play.
Yeah.
Yeah, she works for her mom. So her mom like has her credit, like pays her credit card bills. Like you could still have your own credit card. You don't need to be like on your
Sponging.
mom's dime. Like that's
But
weird to me.
She's a
It's
daughter of
realistic,
someone.
though.
Yeah, she's probably living off of her father's trust or pension or anything that he had in investment wise afterwards.
Right.
I mean, anything that her mom didn't try to use for her own business, of course. But yeah, she was saying like, but she
You
was
can
saying like
tell.
the youth and rich have the common flaw. They both think they're invulnerable, and neither of them are. And
Right.
the mother was trying to teach that lesson because apparently, I guess she did not come from money. She got it through marriage and then her business.
Yes.
So she's trying to impose that type of sense of responsibility to her daughter, but it's really only done through dialogue. There's no demonstration of action to convey
But how are
that.
you gonna do something like that if you've raised her? That's what I'm saying. Like you
Well, she
can't
pulled her credit
expect.
card.
Yeah, but it's like, why would you even be paying for your apparently 22-year-old? I don't accept that she's 22, by the way. I think she's way
No.
younger
Oh,
looking
yeah.
to me, but I'm
But
like,
see, I think that's part of the problem too. Is they played even the prank that she played was very teenager-ish,
Yeah.
yeah.
and you get the idea initially that she's a teenager by how she's acting. For them to then announce that she's 22, it's like, why are you aging her up then?
Yeah, because if that was like a senior prank or something a high school student would do, I mean, I would get it.
Like
I'd
like
be
a boarding
okay.
school.
Yeah,
Is
or like
away.
whatever.
That's what I
But-
thought was going on.
Yeah, but she's 22 and she's going
Right.
around like wrecking bells. Like, what are you doing?
She's technically, I mean, given the way that the education system is with current curriculums in the state of New York, 22 would be the year you'd be graduating or already have graduated recently with a 4-year college program.
Right.
Right.
So like, I'm surprised that she'd still be out of school unless she's like it's a grad school or something. In which case, well, what is she learning? Like, I don't understand the
Yeah.
subject.
And they're trying to make her like if she's just a spoiled brat, it doesn't
she
really
saw that.
align with her intelligence because she's clearly gifted.
But you saw that with her mom, who's like, you destroyed the bell and the building. And it was just a 30-second conversation. Like, we'll talk about it later. Like, you just destroyed all this property. I got to deal with the school. And okay, I'm canceled your credit cards. That's it.
That's a minimum of $2 million. And if the mother really did care about the kid learning responsibility, she would have never given her a credit card anyways, or never given her a credit card that she would have control over.
That's what I'm saying. When she's like basically like going off at her about how like irresponsible she is, and then she's like, I'm gonna start by taking your credit card away. And I'm like, you shouldn't have even given her one to begin with. But like, what, that's limitless, and then you're just paying off the bills. Like, she needs to actually like learn how to work and like have credit.
One of those steel American Express cards.
But the thing is, she's rich. Like, she wouldn't have that problem.
That's also true, but maybe that's the other thing that makes her extra unlikable to me, because I'm like, okay, so like I can't, like, not that I can see myself in her in any way, but like I'm just like, okay, but so she's also rich and perfect and like has everything she's ever wanted, like
she's
basically
a princess.
Yeah, except for like growing up with her dad. Other than that, she's like the perfect princess and like has like, she does well in school and she's smart and she's like, a gymnast and archer, a sword master, fucking.
It's like it's
just
like,
everything.
It's like they're trying to pay for her tragedy. Like, she had this tragedy, she lost her dad, and so this way she's going to become the princess you're describing. Like, we justify it. Oh, she went through her tragedy. That's it. Now she gets to do whatever.
But you know what's the thing is like I just don't see, like, it's not a really realistic representation of rich people, because rich people don't do that. Like, they're not like, oh, I have it all, so I might as well take advantage. Like, they're not like, okay, let me like put all this effort into my life. They'll just have someone else be an archer for them, or like,
in some cases,
bodyguards.
I know some rich people who decided to go to Thailand to learn mixed martial arts and get their shins like broken in half because they just want to have something to prove and get an adrenaline rush that's difficult as opposed to what money can buy them.
But you also
the
have to
reward.
keep in mind when it comes to
Yeah.
this level of wealth, athleticism is really important. So sporting is a huge thing for them. I would
Mhm.
not at all see this as unrealistic. In terms
Yeah.
as many activities she has, that's
I
unrealistic.
see
But
that as unrealistic, Jane. Like the
2 or
fact that
3
it's like
things that she
everything.
mastered
I'm like, dude,
athletically, I
okay.
think that would align with her background.
It's
It would
like she's training for the Olympics almost with all those
Right.
events.
Yeah.
to me, it would make sense if she became like a master archer and maybe like a martial arts person. But then
Right.
you add swords, and then you add gymnastics, and then you add like
It's
dance, and then you
because
it's like dude,
they're trying to squeeze in all of Hawkeye's experience, his however old he is,
Exactly.
his 40 years into her
bingo,
5.
Exactly.
bingo, and she's so young, so it's like
Otherwise, she'll
really
come across like a Mary Sue, and they're going to be like, "Oh, they don't want to hear that whole thing." So they're like, "Okay, here."
exactly, and they're trying to learn from that. So they're like, we'll give you this animated thing where
Right.
it shows you that she's not a Mary Sue. Don't worry, guys. Like she's had training, even though her training doesn't make any sense.
And
Whatever.
I mean,
interestingly,
you take a look at the 10.
no
Oh, sorry.
male
Go ahead,
involved.
Jane.
No, I was just gonna say, interestingly, there's no male involved though.
Thank
No.
They
you.
still can't do the
Nope.
man training her, the
That's
father.
why I kept saying about the mom, because the mom is who's training her, because you don't ever see a fencing teacher, you don't see a gymnastics teacher, you don't see like any of these things. It's like, okay, so who was teaching her be this person? Like, and what kind of values did they impart?
Experts. You
I
hire
still think
experts
her
to train your
mother-
kid.
I
I'm
still
sure
think
all-
it's with her mom something. I just get that feeling that her mom is the one who, even though they showed some pictures of her in there, I think it's her
Mhm.
mom's background, something there.
I think so
That's
too.
interesting. Yeah. Well, that would be
J-
interesting. So they probably won't do that.
Oh no, it's just
They'll be
because
like,
the way
that's a
that
great idea. Let's not do it.
it's because she seems actively like she's hiding it. And we know she's into something shady. She has a security company. She has the meeting in the background.
Mhm.
And then she's popping the carrot or whatever the hell it is in her mouth. And so I just think it's not an accident. I think they're trying to say something.
Like suggest that maybe she killed her husband and blamed it on the Chitauri attack and used that money to create this thing, and the money's been running out ever since because of the conversation they had at the beginning. Yeah.
That's
Something.
That would
definitely
be
a possibility.
awesome.
Well, like
Make her be a mass murderer or make her be a murdering bitch. I'm all for that. That's awesome.
Yeah, like
Well,
here's the other part I wanted to sort of highlight out, and that is, the saying is that you need 10,000 hours to become an expert at anything, and that's many years
Right.
of training, and to split that across 4 different skills, and then from what we see later on in the thing where she's not invulnerable and she gets handed some decent hits and stuff. I think she should have had more injuries than what was shown as a result. But at this point here, I would say she wouldn't be able to, on the current path that she is, she wouldn't be able to reach that expertise level till she hit 30.
Of course, but that's why you have SEALs, how they train for years, or special forces teams. When you read about them, they don't just go to boot camp and then go train and come out. They continue to train, and they're going to have us believe that she never once was injured. She never once was laid out for a month, 6 months, a year in all of those activities. Especially with her rebellious attitude. I mean, if she took down a building in a bow, what else did she do? I'm just saying it's.
Mm-hmm.
They would have been better if either they made her younger or made her older.
Exactly, because the way I look at it this way, even if she only had homeschooling and was doing all these activities throughout the rest of the day, she'd still only be at best halfway to being an expert to hold herself among other people. Like it's really stretching it. If they just said, okay, so she can do archery and she's got she just started taking up fencing and she's already done some martial arts, which again, martial arts is a formality part. Street fighting is actually where you're going to survive. And you don't really often get to do that or learn that without actually going to the streets and getting into scraps, which I don't recommend.
Real quick, 200 Watt Studios, thank you so much for the $2. I thought Linda Cardellini was Clint Barton's wife. She is, isn't she? I thought
she's in this. Yeah,
she's in this. But also Ian So Forth, thank you so much for the 5, says not relevant to the discussion, but Nina getting irritated while wearing a Santa hat is a wonderful visual dichotomy.
Oh, there we are.
I'm supposed to be jolly, but then this turns me not jolly. Thank you so much, Ian.
What do you
Here's
think
the
of
thing
this,
though,
Nina, compared to What If?
What,
Oh,
this
gosh,
show?
much
Yeah, just your feeling from the.
Oh,
what
it's
if
much.
is.
This has been much better so far than basically all of them except for WandaVision, because I was really intrigued with WandaVision at the
Mhm.
beginning. But this is definitely better than Loki, I think.
Oh,
I
gosh,
think it
anything's
started
better.
better than Loki did.
Yeah.
Same with What If. I mean, What If was, oh God, What If awful. It was an awful show.
Definitely
So glad it's
10 times
over.
better than Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
I'll tell you guys this much. This show, Hawkeye, is 20 times, you know what? Scratch that. 100 times better than Cowboy Bebop from Netflix.
Oh,
Like,
God,
I'm
yeah.
not even
Well, yeah.
1,000.
like, this is, yeah, 1,000, like a million times better. Like, I would watch this over and over and over again if I never had to watch that show ever again. I mean, I wish I didn't have to look at it. But yeah, so like then we meet this character
Hmm.
who is the mom's new fiance. I think they just recently met. At this point, Kate doesn't know yet that they're
Hooked up.
engaged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're looking at the old surprise stepfather trope.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
and he pulls that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But am I the only one that actually think he's the most awesome character so far in this show? I'm like, I'm totally on his side. I want him to come and marry him, take all the money, make this bitch miserable, and
Wow.
take over New York and the
I didn't see
planet.
that coming.
Teresa's
I'm on your
thorns
side.
are just coming out. Like, holy
Mm.
shit.
What did you
Teresa.
like
I'll tell
about
you
him,
what.
Teresa?
The mustache.
He barely did anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I'm on his side. I want him to win. I want him to take
You have
over.
that coolest vibe in
Everything.
man world to you?
That's weird. I don't know.
Well, why not? Everyone else. I mean, come on. Look at that picture right there. That woman has a punchable face. She has definitely a punchable face.
It's the
Oh,
haircut.
you know what? It's the rose. It's because she's offering people roses. That's what it is. And Teresa's like, "Oh, this man's after my own heart."
You caught
Oh
me.
my
You
God.
caught me out. No, but you know what I'm saying. I'm like, he at least is kind of interesting. I think he's the villain. I think there's something definitely going on.
I
But
don't know if he's the villain because I feel like they're doing that as like a
Red
A bait
herring?
and switch.
yeah, it's a red herring. It's like it's way too
Red-
obvious that it's him. I don't think it would be him.
I looked up in the comics that his character or a character based on him was at one time a mentor to Hawkeye. Jerry Barton's Hawkeye, not new Hawkeye.
Yeah. Glenn
yeah, his
says here
Jack.
Swordmaster was Hawkeye's mentor in the comics.
Yeah, the character is Jack. I don't know how to pronounce the last name, even though I heard it in the show. But he's I think he's a fencer in the Hawkeye comics, like a villain that's like expert in swords and fencing.
Okay, so he is a villain. Okay. All right.
In the comics, he's the villain. Let's see what happens here in Hawkeye.
he's
right?
Well, he is a white male, so he's definitely not going to not be a villain. I don't think.
See, I was kind of getting villain or anti-hero, one of those.
Something. Yeah, definitely an antagonist.
Yeah, exactly.
And then here we catch up again with Hawkeye, who's trying to spend time with his family. He asks the kids what I do, and there she is. There's the wife. She's talking.
Yeah, those 3 kids are really running her dry. You can just see she wants this break.
She wanted them gone. She's like,
please stay away a little longer, please.
Yeah, so he's like asking them what they want to do, and they're like, they all say different things, and he's like, yeah, let's do all these Christmas things, and he's just like, wants to be a dad. He gets a free meal from this guy because he's like, thank you for saving our city, and the guy was like,
11
"You
years
didn't
ago.
have to do that." Yeah. George just became a member of my channel.
No, I was renewing it. I realized that I didn't have it renewed. I thought
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
there we
That's very lovely.
George,
Thank
not a
you.
new member.
Well, either way, it's a new old member. Thank you.
I actually thought that these family scenes, him with his kids, were the strongest scenes in.
I like them too.
Yeah.
I didn't mind it.
Yeah, I
Because
like.
we got to spend time with him.
Mhm.
I appreciated the
can tell-
priorities. Yeah.
Yeah, you can tell that he genuinely loves them, and I remember how sad it was in the end game when they showed how he lost them, and now
Oh,
they're
yeah.
back.
Yeah,
and they're
it
saying,
like broke him.
yeah, and then they're saying how let's do this for Christmas, as you said earlier. This is leading up to a big God bless us, everyone.
Yeah, because that was
be a great.
that was the
holiday.
thing, right? And I think that was the second episode because we're still on the first one. But in the second episode, he goes like, "I promise I'll be there for Christmas," and I was like, "Oh, that's the Die Hard thing," because they want to like do that thing with like how is he gonna make it home for Christmas? That's like the whole. That's
It's
what the
five
plot is now.
days. It's 5
Yes.
days away for
And we have
show
6
continuity.
episodes. Like this is going to be a 6-episode series. There's 5 days to Christmas. We've already done the first 2 episodes. It's basically been the first night.
Right.
So, I think that's the whole point to see if he's going to make it home for Christmas. Which I don't mind. I like that. I think that that's kind of like classic stuff.
I think everybody's
more of
been.
that
I think everybody's been trying to outdo Die Hard ever since it came out.
for a long
Or-
time.
Yeah.
or Christmas movie.
Tried.
They got very close with Speed.
And so we meet this
Really? Oh.
other character here who
Yay.
turns out to be the uncle of the guy that her mom is marrying. And at
Who
first
is
I was
also the
like,
villain to Ace Ventura in When Nature Calls.
Yeah,
Really?
and he was in
Yeah.
Phantom of the Opera and
I
Wow.
didn't
416.
know that. I didn't know that.
Neither did I. I didn't know he was in Ace Ventura. Wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's the consulate to this
Oh.
African nation.
God.
Wow.
Well,
That's so
he
long
has
ago.
feelings
Yeah.
about the mama. He thinks something's up with her. He definitely.
That's he does, and also, but to that knowledge that we just learned. Also, Colt, thank you for becoming a member. Really appreciate that. I also think that your icon is hilarious. Is that Keanu Reeves and mini Keanu Reeves? What the fuck is going on? That's funny. Hey Steve, good to see you. So yeah, this thing is when they introduced this character, I was like, I don't understand what his purpose is because it made no sense. And I was like, oh, like later on, I was like, oh, he's related to that uncle. Okay, I get it. This one. So he's this guy's uncle. And this part was funny. What did you think of this? How he was like, this kid's Aubrey or whatever his name is, like
Armand.
Armand the 7th.
I
The
think he's a
seven.
villain.
Oh,
He's the
man.
real villain. He's the real villain.
He's the villain, yes. He's the genius child villain. But have we all been to a party where we've had to meet someone either much younger than us or much older than us and just don't care?
Yeah.
Well,
That
that's
was
kind
featured
of like
quite effectively here.
that's actually a Marvel story too, right? Like the Silvermane story where he becomes like the baby because they go into the Lazarus pit or whatever.
Are you? Oh, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the Spider-Man cartoon show.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then
With the
Silvermane
Stone
guy
of
becomes the
Time, I
baby.
think it was.
Yeah,
The
the
Tablet
Stone
of
of
Time.
Time.
Tablet of
Yeah,
Time.
yeah.
Oh man, you're really bringing up some old stories here.
That was fun though when he became a baby and he's like, "Yeah, you gotta change me." Oh, that was good. But yeah, so then this was irrelevant to everything. And then so somehow she finds her. Oh, she sees them arguing first, right? Like she sees her mom and the uncle of that dude of this-
Exchanging
they're
words.
there, exchanging words, and they seem pretty kind of like heated, and so she's kind of like lurking about, which I found funny because the mom was like, "Why are you lurking around the hallways?" Because it's like, what is she doing?
Well,
Why is she like?
but that's what she
lurking?
does. She did it as a kid, and she's doing it now.
Oh God, that suit is so ugly. Like, why? Why are you doing
So
this to yourself?
stupid.
God, I'm so
because
dumb.
plot.
Plot?
Totally.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
it's not
can
like she
sneak
couldn't-
in and pretend she's a waiter.
Yeah, but it's not like
Ah.
she couldn't pull a Hawkeye and like, how he went to like the fire truck
Mhm.
and stole, like, took the fire
That was
person.
slick.
Yeah, the coat and the hat,
Hawkeye.
yeah.
Like, it's not like
Yeah,
she
have her
couldn't do the
change.
same thing. Like have her change in the middle of the party. That would be cooler than like, oh, I'm gonna show up in this fucking ugly ass
Tuxedo.
suit. Are they saying she's a lesbian already? Like, I don't
Ugh.
understand this. But okay.
I don't know.
There
Was
she
she in
is.
the comics? I have no idea.
Then she picks up the
No,
tray
she
of
had a love
food.
interest.
Oh,
She had a
okay.
dude. It was a dude.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Eric.
You also
pop-
first see her in a dress, which they didn't do.
Oh.
It's just so stupid. Look at that.
Yeah, so she picks up the tray of food and starts following that dude after like she sees him arguing with the mom, and the mom's like, "Go back to the party," and she's like, "No, I'm gonna follow this dude." So she follows this dude behind the kitchen, and they go through this area where they end up in this kind of like an auction place below
It's a
the
wine
like in the
cellar.
cellar, in the wine
Yeah.
cellar. Man, can you imagine some of these wines in here? This is probably like some of the best wines like in the world. So they're like doing this crazy ass auction where like things start at like bids start at like $2 million. I mean, this is some next level high bidding shit. This is where we finally see the suit, which is Hawkeye's suit and also
sword.
Hawkeye's sword. That's right. Here it is.
Ronin.
This is
Yeah. His
Ronin's
Ronin
sword.
gear.
The impossible sword.
Yeah.
Yeah, the impossible sword.
The entire blade retracts into the hilt, which
Yeah, it's shorter than the whole blade.
yeah. Like even if it was a collapsible blade, there's a lot of gears and mechanics in there that can make it function like that, but it would never be effective as a sword.
No.
It just collapsed.
Right.
What was funny is that she was able to make her way by the security guards, which had to be as dumb as stumps. Was it, or the wait staff? You see the manager?
Yeah,
he's
they were
like,
dumb.
Who are you? It's like, oh yeah, I'm oh yeah, let me that really works.
I
Yeah,
like
while
how
we're
like
doing
she
our
was like, "What
illegal
Gary
auction."
sent me," and then she's and the guy kind of shows up and he's like, "I'm Gary."
Yeah.
And she's like,
Yeah, and you don't even know my name. And listen, I will say this though: if you have a clipboard, you can get into a lot of places.
I
Oh
believe
my
it.
god!
I just thought that was just so on the nose. I don't know. It's like, were they that dumb guarding this black market sale?
Apparently,
And presumably they are paid well, so they would be
You
more
think a little
attention.
smarter. Yeah.
I'm trying to find that scene where she's like when Gary shows up.
Yeah. It's kind of like just this weird.
That's when the bomb goes off, guys, in the chat.
Oh yeah, the what is it called? The jumpsuit or the tracksuit mafia?
Tracksuit mafia, which
Tracksuit Mafia.
The
That's too
tracksuit
funny.
mafia,
Too
which
funny.
they
Really
actually
just a
said that
negative
was
Russian
on the nose.
stereotype.
So this guy ends up stealing the sword,
That
which
is
by
Uncle
the
Bot.
way,
Yeah.
which by the way, he basically got outbidded by his uncle. So his uncle had actually bought it, but then the bomb went off and the uncle is like on the ground, like passed out. So he went and picked up the sword. But then later on, you see the uncle dead in his apartment, which I was like, what the hell? Like, this is weird. So then she sees the sword and she's like, oh, or not the sword, sorry, the suit. And she's like, there's the suit. Oh, guess what? Now I can go change. Now is the time to go change. Because then she's like, oh, now I can wear this freaking cool suit. Because why not? Because, I'm in the middle of a freaking,
robbery.
A robbery slash, like this, a freaking, the wall just blew open. I'm gonna go change into the suit where I have no idea what the hell is going on instead of just grabbing it and run, because that's what a normal person would do. They would just run.
Right. You'd leave. You book.
You would book it.
Beep,
But
beep.
she's like, no, I'm gonna switch into the suit and start kicking people's asses for absolutely no reason, because she has no
Hawkeye.
reason to get involved. Like there's no reason to get involved here. But she does it anyway. So then she starts like helping people and she's like, get out of here because I'm a hero, everybody.
The way you say that in my voice, it's hilarious.
There she is. Oh, and like, can we talk about how the suit fits perfectly?
Oh yeah.
It's magic.
Even though
Kind of.
Hawkeye is much bigger than her.
I mean, the hood is a little bit bigger.
The
but
shoulders are a little too wide. The hood's too big. The mask fits her quite well. Which,
Yeah.
The pants fit her.
I think she's wearing the suit, her suit underneath the chest
Yeah,
piece.
she is. Well, it looks like she is.
It looked
Is
like
she?
she was, yeah.
Okay.
Because like it's really just a vest, a hood, and some gauntlets, and that's about all you got there. with the
Yeah,
mask.
well, I mean, I was surprised because this suit ends up fitting this little tiny girl, Jeremy Renner, obviously, who is like, a little bit of a bigger guy than
he's
her.
about an inch taller than her.
Yeah.
Well, he was. Maybe he's now a
Um,
tiny little girl after Hawkeye.
And then it also fits a giant black guy because he
God, yes.
he wore it too, and it,
The
like it fit him
firefighter
perfectly.
who committed a crime by taking evidence out of
Yeah, that guy. That
out of
guy.
an arson.
Maybe it's Tony Stark nanotech or something.
Oh my
God. Yeah, it's nanotech or I don't know, some sort of.
It's a Hollywood writer. Come on, script doctor. Is that what it is? It's a Hollywood writer's like, this fits everyone.
I've never come up with that. I usually, I mean, I'm more the type where it's like, oh, if there's something that doesn't fit the person, let's make fun of, let's use it either for comedic effect or for practicality. And
Makes sense.
oddly enough, speaking of, there is actually a scene where they do it kind of right, and I don't know if it's been filmed yet, but it's in the True Lies pilot that I don't know if it's
Okay.
going to air or not.
Oh.
But between the husband and the wife, they beat up one. The husband beats up the guy and then tries to get into his outfit, but the guy is twice the size of the guard that they beat up. So they decide to dress the wife up because, again, the bad guys are looking for the husband. They're not caring or looking for the wife, so that she gets to disguise herself as the guard with like a hat covering her face, and then she's closer in build to him. And I mean, that's a clever way to do it, but at the same time, it's like, you know.
I want to
Kinda like pushing
highlight
some stuff
Jayne's
here.
comment
I
here.
wanna
The
see
black
that.
character also a thief. LOL. Hashtag Hollywood diversity, because that's what they do. It's like they're trying to not be racist, and then they're racist in the most ridiculous way, and you're like, really?
Or they
Well,
turn
here's
him
the
into
other part too.
pimps.
Was the
Pimps
character
and
written to be a black man, or was the character written to be a man that gets a suit, and then the casting director said, "Oh, let's make this a black guy"?
Wait a minute, is that how it happened?
Good
But it's
question.
not the
Sometimes it
same
can, yeah.
situation. It
Oh,
can be like,
wow.
oh, this character's stealing something. Let's turn him
Be-
black.
Because
Let's
the
make
other-
him the
Exactly.
black guy.
So we need to do a TikTok video where we call out whoever it was that cast the black guy as a thief and say, "Hey, what's going on with
How
Hollywood?"
dare you?
Probably the same person who did Batwoman.
maybe. I mean,
Oh
here's
my
the other part too. Like when you're writing secondary characters,
Right.
rarely do you ever really need to put in an ethnicity in there, because it's like, oh, this is the person's name. They're this man. They're this career. That's all you really need. And the reason that a lot of writers do that is because they're hoping the production, like a director or casting director, has an inventive idea of who's the best to express this character to make them have an impact. And then
Okay.
you go on the ideally you go on the merits. But in some cases, like what we're seeing here, is a very peculiar pattern within entertainment, where every time there's a character that is introduced as some sort of like, you know, secondary diversity character, they're doing something ethically or legally wrong, and
Right.
it does not bode well for going against the stereotype that some people have. So it's like they take two steps forward with, let's try and make it broad appealing as possible, and then someone comes in there and just completely usurps all of that.
Right.
So I just want to point out one more thing that I actually did really consider as well, which is Eric Hayes' comment that lucky no one has a gun, because I didn't understand what kind of robbery this was where nobody had a gun.
There was guns.
No, there wasn't.
Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah,
thought
she
when
knocked
they
a gun
broke
out of a
through-
guy's hand. She
When
ducked.
they
She
break through the wall.
yeah.
Oh,
She dodged some bullets.
Enough guns. I mean, not everybody had guns. Look at this guy. He's coming at her with a fist. It's like, what are you
She
doing?
knocked the gun out of his hand like a couple of shots earlier.
Is
with
that
the
what
bottle.
happened?
Yep.
Oh,
I'd be
okay.
cracking up laughing at the tracksuits.
Well, how can you not, right?
Well,
We did laugh at him later on. That was funny. But she ends up kicking everybody's ass with some wine bottles and like different things. She's pretty
Handy.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
that just goes to show too, how everything doesn't translate well
Right.
from comic to screen. Like they could have picked some other
Oh,
story.
there's a
or
gun.
There's a gun. Yeah.
Change
She
them
knocks,
in
so.
some
she knocks
way.
that one out of his hand with a bottle too, as he
Right.
fires. So luckily he misses.
What doesn't make sense also is how much do you think she weighs? 100,
Oh,
108,
120.
Max.
Max
Yeah.
120. Yeah.
Max.
Okay,
What?
so some of those guys look 250 to 280. A couple of those big guys. You telling
The
me
big
that-
guys, I'd say
Actually-
about 230 to 260, and
Okay.
then this guy here, I would say he's like maybe 190.
Okay, because she was knocking them
Especially
around.
though,
like-
George, the guys that show up later, like
Yeah,
that's the ones that I had the most problem
The
with because
6'4"
they were
dude?
so buff.
Yeah,
they were
yeah.
they were like hunky, like just a big burly, muscly, like Russian dude. And he
Right.
like gives like her 2 uppercut stomach
She'd be
punches.
knocked out.
And she's just
Oh,
like,
yeah.
no problem.
She
like
would be
I'm
out of
fine."
breath, choking,
Out of
trying to
breath,
breathe.
oh, yeah.
That's
Spitting
That'd
up
be like
blood.
if Mike Tyson hit you. If Mike Tyson hit me, it'd be like, yeah, I'd be on the ground. I wouldn't be like, hey, come on, do it again.
Yeah.
No,
it-
if Mike Tyson hit you, you'd have to realize, oh my God, Mike Tyson hit me, and you're like already on the ground before you even
Right.
realize the punch was thrown.
Yeah,
Like I would be in that situation. It's like,
No,
did,
no,
did
that's
Mike
what I
Tyson just
said.
hit me?
That's what I'd be. I'd be like, on the ground, but I wouldn't be standing up going, yeah, that's it. Come on, I can take it again. 3 more.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, that was the thing that like and it wasn't even this fight, it was the next one that I was like, oh come on. Like she would be on the ground, like she would kind of breathless.
Like I don't care how fast you are, you can dodge it, but when you finally get hit by someone that big, you're gonna go down.
By the
Yeah.
way, I didn't understand this whole thing because so the robbers were after this one thing, which was
Watch.
this watch.
Yeah.
That's your
So
mystery
I didn't,
box.
yeah, I didn't understand like what was the deal with this watch, like why they want it.
Maybe it's
J.J. Abrams.
I mean, I suspect that it might be a watch that has access to the Avengers compound that's upstate that the whole Infinity War final climax took place in.
Oh, Tony's
Oh,
watch.
is that why it says like
Maybe one
Avengers
of Tony's
compound
watches,
on
maybe,
it?
yeah.
Because he always had all the
Oh.
watches.
He did, yes.
Okay, all right.
Aw.
So they wanted the watch for whatever reason, probably one of these reasons that script
Probably to
doctor gave.
scavenge
But we didn't
whatever's
get a
left.
clear answer though. We just know that they were looking for a watch.
No, it's your MacGuffin, your chalice, your thing to drive the bad guy's motivation.
It's that
Right.
J.J. Abrams. What do you call it? Mystery box? J.J.
He
Abrams?
calls it mystery box, yeah.
Mystery box.
Mystery box.
It's story poison. It really is.
We also meet our third character here. Well, we actually met him a little bit ago. He's the little blind and one-eyed dog. That's really cute.
Cute and attacks
he's
this
a
guy for no
doggy.
reason.
Yeah, attacks this guy for absolutely no reason. Made no sense. I was like, well, he didn't really do anything, but okay. And then like, this guy starts kicking him. Then I was like, okay, yeah, that's good. Then Kate shows up, rescue because the dog runs away. Kate shows up, rescues him by doing some, ninja moves. There's a doggy. Like over top of all the cars, and then ends up rescuing the dog. Well, thank God for that, though. I mean, come on.
That's your
nobody
save
wants
the
to-
cat moment, so that we're
That's-
supposed to like the
Yeah.
character.
Exactly. That
Yay.
made us all like her because, well, nobody wants to see a dog get killed.
But then she couldn't feed it.
But then
And
she
then-
fed it actually bad food, which
I
bothers dogs.
know. I was like, why don't you
Yeah.
just give him some chocolate then? You might as
Yeah,
well because
kill
you
it.
want him to die.
And then
Like,
here's you landed on a very out of character thing. A guy takes off his mask in the middle of downtown New York. It's like,
I thought that too.
why would he do that?
Nobody
to
would
see
do this.
better. His eyes aren't obstructed with the holes in his balaclava there.
Nobody would do this in the middle of a crime. Like nobody would just
Yeah,
like
so
lift
every
off their
camera
mask just to
downtown-
look better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I know
Everyone
that guy.
see who I am. See who I
Right.
Runs the
am.
Russian restaurant up the street that always cheaps me out of like money.
He's the guy like, hey, I was in John Wick and nobody saw me. Look.
Cold Seaman, thank you so much for the $5. Says, when you see the guy hold the gun up to Hawkeye Jr., it makes a cocking noise with one hand without actually cocking the gun. Did Alec write this? Oh my gosh. I didn't
That's your
know
Foley
that.
and directors. That's that's
See,
them
I
making
wouldn't know
that
anything
decision.
like that because
Yeah.
I'm not into guns. But see, like even if you guys like see stuff like that, that's bad.
And you can
yeah,
cock a
it's the
handgun
fun.
with one hand. It's still
Yeah.
pulling back the hammer with your thumb, but
It makes noise unless you do it really, really slowly and quietly.
yeah.
And you have it
Oh.
oiled. But that's a question I want to ask you, script doctor.
Sure.
Do writers sit with the director like when they're shooting and the writer goes, that's not how it is here?
It depends on the status of the writer. With Marvel, I doubt that's the case. But if you have a writer that's also got that's on set with during production and they're working with the script supervisor and the director or first AD, and it's a good tight knit crew, I mean, they will if they're aware of those types of flaws, they will avoid them. Like you can take a look at something like John Wick or Boondock Saints, where everything with regards to firearms and action is right in line with how it's intended to be and how it's supposed to be represented to cross over with reality to an extent. But yeah, like it's just, I mean, if in this case here, it's like a writing team and, they're just assignment work. So they turn in their pages and then they leave and that's the last they see of it. Unless they're the
not on
showrunner.
set.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're not on set making sure everything is according to the script.
Not unless it's the script that they wrote, and even then, the way that Disney is doing this thing here, it seems like the show director has more power than the showrunner. And so the show director is the person that is directing all 6 episodes, and the showrunner oversees the writing of all 6 episodes while writing episodes as well.
Okay.
But in normal TV, the showrunner is king, and the showrunner goes on set. They supervise the shooting of it, let the director do their thing. If there's changes, they make their notes. If there's accidents, they make their corrections. And then it goes to the edit bay, and then they're usually there to supervise the editing with the director and with the other post-production team, and then they make their own calls and whatnot, and it goes from there. If the showrunner did not write that particular episode they're shooting, whoever wrote or turned that episode is flown out to set, and they do the same thing, and then they coordinate with the showrunner while the showrunner is overseeing other episodes.
Wow.
But in Disney Plus, the way they're doing the Disney shows, it's a whole new ball game. It's even a system that I've been trying to like understand more of because it's still so very new. So any of my friends that managed to get like, part-time gigs over there, I'm trying to get information from them. How is this working? What's the system like? Because it's all being changed now with the new streaming model.
Okay.
So it's very, very different. But I wish I had more information.
No, that's a lot. I was going to ask you something later at the end of the episode.
Yeah,
when
sure.
When we're getting to the director, because I was looking it up and I had questions. Sorry about that, Nina. I just wanted to find out.
No. It's all good.
Find out how they do some of these scenes.
That's perfectly all right, George. That's what we're here to do, and that's what script doctors especially here for, is those kind of questions. So I'm glad that you asked.
Cool.
If you have any questions like that, please go for it. But yeah, so then we see these guys. They're the bank robbers or whatever. They're not bank.
the tracksuit mafia, man.
The tracksuit mafia. They're hitting they're not robbing a bank. They're hitting
They're robbing an auction.
An auction. They're auction robbers.
I feel like the Bee Gees should be playing whenever they come out, the Tracksuit Mafia. That or like the Scarface soundtrack. Something like fun.
Part of me thinks ABBA, because ABBA had more tracksuit motif going on. Like Bee Gees had the tight pants, but they had the really cool, like the puffy shirt sort of thing.
By the way,
but I think any of those would work. Yeah.
Side note, I don't know if there's ever going to be a Kyle Rittenhouse movie. I think there should be, but if there is, I hope they cast this kid as Kyle Rittenhouse because he looks exactly like him.
Oh wow!
I was like, he looks really good. I was like, okay, this guy is definitely Kyle Rittenhouse. There he is. Oh wait, let me see if I can pause it right on him. Come on.
That looked like the peninsula.
There he is. It's not a great picture, but
I see it. I could see it.
Similar.
You can see it, yeah.
Then they see what's going on the news. Hawkeye hears about it, and then of course, he sees his suit. He's like, "Oh my god, that's me!" Well, my suit.
I thought I stored that safely somewhere.
Yeah. What the hell? Like, who got? What the hell?
I killed all those people. Damn it! What the hell?
I got these tattoos.
Then there's the doggy with the
See, here we go, which never explains. Obviously, it must be a trust of some sort. Like she cut her mom cut her credit cards off, but then she has her whole own little secret digs.
Like she has an apartment she inherited, I guess, from the property her dad has. But I mean, it's a very industrial looking apartment. I don't recall ever seeing anything like that in Manhattan. But
yeah,
it looks like it's in Manhattan.
She's got like an archery range like right in here.
Yeah.
Like I was like, what? There's a doggy, so then she feeds him pizza.
To kill him.
And she doesn't even store pizza properly. You wrap it in tin foil, then you put it back in the box, then you put it in the fridge. That's how you get your life out of pizza.
Yep.
I mean, yes. And also again, the suit fits her perfectly. I'm telling you, that's not supposed to be.
It should be baggy on her a little bit.
It should be a little bit baggy. Oh, that's why she freaked out about this shit. I didn't realize that. At the
Custom
beginning.
butterscotch.
I realize this now because she sees the butterscotch in his
hand. He offered it to her.
Yeah, and he offered it to her. Yeah,
but that's not really out of line because I mean he's family. Like, why would he not also have that?
Yeah.
Right.
I got weird things from my grandparents that my grandparents still have. Like it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
They always have those candies.
Oh wait, why did she go? Let me back up here. Why did she go to this dude's house? I forget.
We were not conveyed that.
I thought it was because the other guy took the sword, but she didn't know that. He won the sword.
Yes. Maybe she was going there to interrogate him about the auction, or find out what he knows about mom's business. But like again, it's left up in the air for us to infer because I don't know why.
Because she just shows up at this dude's house and then he's dead. He did.
There's clearly signs of a struggle. There's a table lamp there.
There's blood everywhere, and he's been stabbed by a sword. So like now it's become a whodunit.
Well, we know who did it.
Yeah, we know it. Well, do we? I don't know. Is it going to be some sort of? Is it going to be
her mom? Maybe.
I mean, it's a stab wound, so.
Meaning, like, we know it's been done with the sword, but do we know who stabbed him? Like,
what do you think the twist is? The mom's going to be the sword master villain?
or wait, we still have what's her name, Yelena, who's supposed to do a cameo. Is she
Oh,
taking
yeah.
people, is
Oh,
she taking
yeah.
people out for Hydra? I thought that possible.
Interesting.
That or the
Florence Pugh or whatever. her name-
Pugh, yeah.
Pew,
Lawrence
pew.
Pugh, who's
Yeah.
I guess dating Zachary Braff, which I'm sorry.
mother. No, only because I remember I saw late last night 20-second or 20 or 30-second interview with Haley Steinfeld.
Yes.
What's her last name?
Steinfeld.
Steinfeld.
Steinfeld. And a
something like
reporter
that.
was asking her, so what do you think? How was it working with like Haley Pugh? She's like, what? She goes, I don't know what you're talking about. Because she was at least she was trying to do a good job. Like, I have no clue what you're talking about. Don't know where you got that information. It's been a fun time. And she's like, no, we have confirmed that Haley, that Pugh is on set and she's playing Yelena. And she's like, well, that's really good for you. And then just kept going.
But yeah, I mean, it could be a possibility that could be her. I could see that. Apex Comics is here. Hi, Apex, and says, "Is this another show with bad writing?" I think the writing is better than Loki.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not the best, but it's not. It's also not the worst.
Mediocre.
Yeah, it's mediocre.
Yeah, I mean it's better than CW, but that's
Oh,
such a low
God,
bar.
yeah.
It doesn't
wow.
do much. However, some of the performances, like Haley Steinfeld's performances, some of the mannerism she's doing is very CW-ish.
Yeah,
I agree.
I agree completely. Today, CW had a good first year when they brought out Arrow. I thought that
Yes,
was a good
that
and
was
then it
that was
just-
a great show.
Something happened to it. I don't know what, but it just shit the bed.
Go.
There's
You
a
go
lot
woke,
of
you
well,
broke-
Andrew
go
Kreisberg
broke.
was ejected. There's that.
But so this is the scene. So she's running away. Then the Russian guys catch up to her. And somehow I don't
Sorry.
know how. Oh, because
They're
they knew,
everywhere.
because they knew the buzzer, right? Something about
No,
buzzer
they
later we found out.
followed her because she's kind of easy to spot, and then I guess they just waited to ambush her.
Okay, so that's
But they
what
definitely
happened.
followed her to her apartment because later on they know where to find her.
That's what
Yeah.
happened. They
They
followed her
knew
to
her
the
name.
apartment
They knew her name. How was it that they knew her name? Because Hawkeye had told her something like,
because
was
it
on
Her
was
name's
on
on
her
the buzzer
buzzer.
to the apartment.
that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Because the big guy, the 6'4" guy who's from like Van Helsing and some other shows. Yeah, he showed up.
Yeah,
So I think this is the guy that punches her in the stomach like 2 or 3
a couple
times.
of times. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like,
Funny.
okay, she should, like I would be like, oh,
Hospital.
like,
Yeah,
Like,
and she's not
you-
wearing like it doesn't look like it's a hockey pad type of vest.
No.
Like it
That's
just looks
what
like
I
a
was
very
gonna
simple
ask.
like vest.
That's what I was
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
ask. Like, how strong is this suit? Would it take like this dude's blows, like as he's just like punching her in the stomach? Like, would it take that? Because it reminds me of like the idea of like having a bulletproof vest, right? Like
Right.
even like if you get shot with a bulletproof vest, you're still
Oh.
gonna get like the air taken out of your lungs. Like
Oh,
it's
yeah,
still gonna
bro.
Oh
be,
yeah, and the
Bruising.
bruise.
Bruising.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You get cracked ribs or cracked sternum. Oh, yeah.
The only ones that you those are reduced significantly. So in Toronto, the Toronto police have a bulletproof vest. So it's a Kevlar outing. It's a metal in lining on the inside, and then Kevlar on the inside of that. So it's 3 layers, and it's pretty
Wow.
thick and it's pretty sturdy. You can take a baseball bat to that, and I mean the guy will kind of feel it, but it will not do any internal damage. But at the same time, and I've also had the privilege of wearing like the abdomen one that they have, like so they have
Wow.
an abdomen one, a chest one, and it's linked together, and you can get punched in the stomach really hard with that, and you kind of brush it off. But it's a
Really?
bulky thing. It's
Oh.
not slim like this in any way or shape or form. It's bulky, and you can't really do any sort of physical
Jumping
combat in it. I mean, you're not designed to. It's supposed to be in case you're in a firefight and you get shot in the stomach.
that's
protects you.
interesting. So you don't think that this Ronin suit has that capability of like protecting
too thin.
someone that
I
much?
mean-
That's what I thought.
I think
too.
it's just for camouflage. I think it's literally just a hood that he covers himself with. More for the audience's perspective to say this is Ronin, not Hawkeye.
If
That's
it was
all.
vibranium, then I could believe it, but we don't know that. So
Yeah, we don't know that. That's
I don't
that's
think it
the
is.
thing.
Isn't this something that he just came up with?
I
when
think
he
it is
decided to
something
be
he
a
just-
He was on his
vigilante?
own. Yeah, he left the Avengers and he became Ronin. I thought it was again just for the audience to know this isn't Hawkeye now. This is Ronin.
Mhm.
yeah, I would agree with that. I thought that's
So
what it was too.
that's where I was at with this, because I was like, okay, they did a good job by showing that she trained and she can fight and she can hold her own. But then again, now you have again, like what, 120-pound little like girl, which I don't believe is 22. I think she she looks like 16, 17 to me. Let's say 18, 19. And you have this like little, this little girl. She's fighting these big ass guys. They punch her in the gut, and she doesn't even go down. She doesn't even take a breath. Like she doesn't even get breathless or something like that. It's like, okay, no, I'm fine, and I'm ready to go like immediately. And it's like, because she's not a superhero. It's still she's a human being. Like I don't.
No powers.
Even
and there was no reason to have her get punched. They could have had a fight and not had something that obviously dangerous and violent and puffy. I mean, not puffy, whatever it is. Something that will knock you out.
Well, I mean,
Or
even
have her
like
use her skill to avoid it. She's a gymnast.
Precisely,
Right,
that too.
but
She could
she
have just
took
done a
the-
somersault.
Right, but she took the punch. We're saying is that she's going to get hit, and she was hit. I mean, we've had people at the clinic who've come in after being punched, and they're vomiting for like a half an hour. I mean, it's not a little thing to get really sucked.
Yeah.
Right
I mean, that's why
stomach.
it's shite writing, because they put the punch in there.
the weird part to me was like after like for example, like when she's in the apartment with Clint later on, and he's like, oh yeah, like you bruised, you got a little cut on your head, and she's like, yeah,
like the nothing in the description.
it was nothing. And I'm like, she got like punched in the ribs. Like she probably has like a broken ribs or something. Like that's probably more of a injury than like her little cut like on her forehead, like a little scratch. Like it just made no sense to me at all.
Did you remember when he was holding together? He's like, you didn't clean it properly, and he pulled off the Band-Aid, and she's like wincing. I'm like, okay, so she's wincing when he's holding the skin, but she took the punch like Rocky.
That's exactly what I was talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. But this is basically the end of the first episode. So she finally like gets rescued by Hawkeye because she runs into this car. She gets rescued by Hawkeye. He shows up, and then he takes her and he like takes her into this back alley, which was kind of weird.
Takes off the mask and is like, oh, come on.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, come on. And then he realized, but the weird part though was that like none of those other guys could have done that to her. Like Hawkeye did that to her.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, they all like that one guy punched her out like several times. Like he could have just been like, okay, I'm gonna take it off.
You could have just held her.
Yeah, she should have a black eye, a bloody nose.
Right. It's not like she's the Dark Knight where it's got where it'll shock
like
you.
Armor, like armor padding and all that stuff on, like individual plates and whatnot.
Yeah, okay. Vincent says I say it's just clothing.
It is, because she was at the auction when she was in Mom. She was dressed in a tuxedo. We didn't see her put on padding, and she grabbed her suit, she grabbed the hood, threw it on, and got out of there.
And that was it. That was the first episode.
And when they were in the auction, they didn't say, hey, we have the Ronin suit here with padding and gadgetry.
They didn't have time to describe it. It's like, it's just the suit that goes with the sword.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just the suit.
Yeah, that was it. And then so the next episode that we start, it's right off the bat. It's basically like starts where we get.
It starts where we left off,
yeah.
And it's all about just getting that costume back.
That's basically the entire episode.
It's the ruby slippers of the MCU.
Oh, that's a good way to put it.
We need to get the costume back. And she's all like fangirling, like, oh my God, it's Hawkeye.
Can I have your autograph?
Yeah, she wants his autograph. It's like a whole thing.
Can you sign my bow?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah.
So this was what I was talking about though. Like, okay, so this is Hawkeye's little opening. Done. Like it was like these two arrows go in this thing, and then that was it. There's no music, there's no montage, there's nothing. So I don't think we're gonna get any.
I pitched this type of thing years ago with a spy series I was writing, where only the first episode would have kind of like the James Bond spy montage, and the rest they would just go right into it as to isolate a single story.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And I was not the only one who pitched this. Other people pitched it too. But like, this is like how you got to do it. You got to have like that really grandiose opening, Bond, type style thing.
Yeah, but
And
that's the
then
thing,
every
Script. I don't
subsequent
mind that
episode would be-
about something for Bond or like whatever, but we're talking about a superhero story where like you need stuff to identify with a superhero. Like, Superman has his, Batman has his, like everybody.
Yeah, they don't give him a theme song. No, I think that's missing.
I think that's missing too. That's this kind of montage thing like works for other series. It's just I don't think it works for this.
I'm worried a little bit that now that they're gonna introduce a song and then the last episode when it's hers, like when she becomes
my God.
She gets her theme, the bishop theme.
I'm
It
not
was
so
Kate
upset by it
Bishop all
because
along.
he's never his personality has never really been that like that. I think they do get right in the show
Okay.
is that he is sort of a loner. He does
He's a
not want to
spy.
be
I mean,
bothered with all of this foolishness.
That's what he is. He is a spy with this
Mhm.
particular set of skills in archery. They don't talk about how he came from the circus because I think that's kind of important to his character, is that he was the center of attention at a circus, and now he's an agent. He doesn't want that attention anymore because he knows what it does to a person. I would love that if that was explored.
That'd be a
But-
great story.
Yeah, I think so at least. But now they
Joker's
just make him
telling
this
you to be
reserved
careful what
guy.
you say, George. What'd you say? I don't
I don't know.
understand.
I don't know.
What I said?
What do you say?
I don't know what he said.
Oh, the theme song, that they're going to give her a theme song.
Oh, okay.
Don't give them
They
ideas.
probably will.
Oh, that's why,
Like-
because people think that they watch our
No.
shows and they actually get ideas. So that's funny.
I think they do.
But yeah, so she's all fangirling over Hawkeye, like, oh my god, it's you, and like you're an Avenger, and let me take you to my apartment. It looks like crap. And here it is. And can you sign my bow? And she like,
Oh yeah, there's her archery and weight
yeah, there's,
bag.
yeah, there's the archery and
Which
her
is that's
little.
not nearly enough room to practice archery.
No,
No.
No,
No.
definitely not.
not enough room for kicks and stuff of where that bag is.
We get to see
That's
more
like
of her
the Skyrim
trophies.
basement.
What trophies are in there? So she had archery.
She had
and,
the mostly archery because it's
Archery
mostly
and
archery. It
one
does
fencing.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's mostly archery. But in the drawing one, she had like gymnastics and ballet and all sorts
Right.
of other shit too. Then okay, so that's the bow she brings out. And she's like, "Can you sign it for me?" Because I'm like, "It's Hawkeye." She doesn't really say that.
I do find that funny that the first guy asked him in the bathroom, and now
For a
she
selfie.
yeah, her
Yeah.
selfie. And now she's asking for him. She's like, God, will people leave me alone?
Okay, so then these guys show up. That's what happens. These guys show up because they find out where she is. And they he's like, did they follow you? And she's like, no. And then they
But
like,
why are they just throwing stuff in the street? Why wouldn't they just go into the building?
Good question.
because they're
Yeah.
dumb as shit.
They're the
They're the Russian
tracksuit
mafia.
mafia.
Yeah, and you know who else is dumb as shit? These guys. You know, I didn't understand at all, and that was perfect. Like, can you guys appreciate the perfect of the
It's
pausing
like,
there?
they're coming out there like, what's the matter with you? We closing up. What do you want to buy?
How are you
Yeah,
gonna
no one
go
in New York would
outside
do
in
that.
the
They'd know
street,
better.
Not armed, talking to a bunch of Russian dudes throwing Molotov cocktails through somebody's window. Like,
I mean,
hey, what are
technically
you
that
guys
is
doing?
25th Street.
Like, wouldn't you be scared that they're gonna just take one of those Molotov cocktails and throw it at your store? Like, I don't like. Why are you going to piss them off? Like, you don't even have a gun. Like, I don't. Why would you even go talk to them? I would just be like cowering somewhere. Like,
They would be
hoping to
calling the cops,
God.
or they'd be calling their own side of things, not to imply anything specific.
Corn Julio says, I didn't know Hawkeye was a carny. I didn't either. I didn't know that was a circus. I didn't know he was a circus person.
Yeah, he was an acrobat and archer primarily.
They took Robin's story, if I remember part of it, didn't they? His
Yeah,
I
background.
think that's
that
the case
Robin?
of it. Yeah, a little bit.
Because they copied each other, Marvel and DC.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
There's nothing
Okay.
new about that. They always grabbed each other's.
The Joker voice says Russian mafia members are dumb. Didn't you know that? I guess they are.
Well, you even had the Joker in Nolan's Dark Knight when Ledger's Joker made fun of the mobsters at the table.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then threw that the Russian one on the to the dogs, right?
Yep.
mhm.
Exactly.
This part was interesting though because they did show the suit like in the fire, and for a
And
minute
it didn't
I
burn.
thought-
Yeah.
it didn't burn, and I thought to myself like are they gonna say are they trying to say it doesn't burn so that they're I don't know, I think that's setting something up for later because it doesn't burn. I mean, it would be like crisp if it did burn. I mean, you know what I mean? Like it wouldn't be a suit.
Oh, it's good,
I mean, it's
solid material.
Yeah.
The next time we see it, it looks perfectly fine on that LARPer.
On that, yeah, on the yeah,
I think you could make it fireproof. That would make
I think
sense.
it's fire.
Much thicker than that. I had a friend who's a fireman, and it's not thin material.
No, it's heavy stuff.
Yeah,
No.
it's not, and that only lasts 30 seconds max in high heat, in top line heat. I mean, they will burn. They're not.
I mean, it's more designed to protect the skin for the instant, and then you got to dispose of it afterwards, if I recall correctly, right?
You're just to allow you to get out of someplace or to move from one place to another. You can't just sit there and go, yeah, I'm like Flash.
Let's just chill and roast marshmallows while we're here, right?
No, it just gets you in and out. That's why they must mean something with this.
E. Clay Thompson, yes, she did have a fire extinguisher, and she shot it with her bow, and then it caused it to become a rocket and fly outside the window for some reason.
That's exactly what happened.
Because she was showing Hawkeye her skills. She's showing Hawkeye her skills.
It would have been far more effective if they just grabbed the fire extinguisher and put out the fire.
And put out the fires? Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I was like, why didn't you just
any normal New Yorker would do, because they're like, hey, you better come up here and try that again as they're putting out the fire. That's how it would usually start in Midtown or in Hell's Kitchen.
Right, but remember, she didn't want to ring the bell either. She wanted to shoot it with the arrow to pull the cord to ring the bell, which brought the whole thing down. So
which that also threw me for a loop. It's like, that must have been a very poorly maintained tower. That was just like ready to go.
I know, that tower was like.
And now that school is basically
trap.
throwing the bill onto her mom, because it's like, listen, we were negligent with this tower anyways, so now we're gonna get you a new one because your kid did this.
Yeah, that tower made no sense, because they do ring those bells once in a blue moon, and it's like, okay, so this bell rung, and then like the entire thing comes down. Like that's insane. Like that's not supposed to happen.
That's a lawsuit waiting to happen. That's what that is.
Exactly. Like, because it could have been like anybody. Like, it didn't have to be the situation. But yeah, so like then they go to the pharmacy, they get a bunch of like cleaning material for their faces and blah blah blah.
Neosporin and rubbing.
Even though there was nothing wrong with them.
Right. I did love when he's like, we're gonna stop here. And she's like, so we're going to pick up supplies, like your secret supplies, your secret stash. She's like, rubbing alcohol and first aid.
Yeah. And then they go to her aunt's place, who's in Florida, and she's got keys to the apartment. This time she's not breaking in.
No, she picked it with her lock picking stuff.
No, she didn't. She had keys. She's like, look, I have keys.
No, I thought she had a
lock pick, yeah.
Was it? I thought she had keys. Because she was like, look,
no, because she pressed all the buttons. Can you let me in? Blah blah blah. And to
pizza.
Get
something about pizza.
Oh, I thought she had a key.
Okay. She's trying to impress him again with a lockpick. She keeps trying to show him every one of her skills.
Oh.
And the other part too is you have to have a very specific tool for a deadbolt, because any normal hairpins or something like that, they bend and break off in the lock. Because a deadbolt takes some force to leverage out. That's why they're called the deadbolts.
And I don't think they take 2 seconds. They take a bit. It's not just
they do.
So then this is when he goes and he gets the fire guy's suit, and then he leaves his backpack in the fire truck, which I thought was interesting. And then he like goes into to get the suit. He realizes his suit's not there, so he goes back to the fire truck. And he gets his backpack out, leaves his suit there, and then sees the sign. That's where he realizes that whoever owns this truck or whoever was in there may know where the suit is. So I'm gonna go and basically like hunt those people down.
And one thing to note is that her apartment is not as trash as you'd expect it to be from a fire. I mean, it's still like the books are all intact, and there's a couple of like scorch marks on the floor and some tables, but it looks pretty fine, actually. I was kind of surprised.
Yeah, I remember that too, Glenn, because she was like, "Do you need my keys?" I'm confused now because I thought she had keys. Like I was like, I think
that was keys to her place. No.
Yeah, when he was leaving to go back to her apartment, he's like, "Do you need my keys?" That's when she said it.
Oh, okay. That's what that was about. All right. Oh yeah, and you're right. The apartment wasn't that burnt down, even though it should have been. Oh, okay. So this is the part, and also he's got a scratch on his head too, which he doesn't seem to give 2 shits about.
He doesn't. That's what I was saying. It's like he doesn't bother with it. Hers, he's like, okay. And then when he puts it on,
daughtering her. Like he's like, oh, like come here, sweetheart. Let me fix your head. And like,
Well,
you
she's
know, like
a kid, so I mean,
She's a
it
kid,
makes
and I mean,
sense.
again, I related to this scene way too much because I've had to take my godchildren home after they get into a fight and be like, all right, this is the story. This is what we're going to tell your parents, and then
That's
this is how we're
fine.
going to fix you up. And yeah,
But then yeah, so he fixed her up, even though she probably has broken ribs. But who cares?
yeah, she should have
Internal
broken ribs.
bleeding.
Yeah.
Do you think he's
Yeah.
viewing her here more like a daughter replacement figure, or he's looking at it like this is some loon who's going to get themselves into a lot of trouble?
I think a little bit of both.
I think
Not so much of a
both.
replacement, but like an empathizing with like, where's your family? Like,
Yes.
Okay. Because he
Yeah,
kept telling her the suit's going to get you in a lot of trouble. It's got history. It's got history. A lot
Yeah.
of people.
And I think it's because of like also like he knows that she's like one of those troublemakers and she's probably gonna get injured a lot. So she's like, okay, this is what you're supposed to do. So he's like teaching her to like patch herself up.
I was
So-
just trying to wonder if they were trying to make a replacement to Black Widow, like how.
No, that's gonna be Pew.
Okay.
Pew, pew, pew.
Pew.
Yeah, I definitely think he just sees her as a really dumb child who he has to try to save in some way.
Mhm.
Good point.
got wrapped up in something, is innocent, and should not be facing the consequences of his mistakes as Ronin.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's why I kept thinking originally when they announced the series, I said it's going to be his daughter. Okay, makes sense. She's
Should
grown
be.
up. Yeah. It threw me off. Pew pew. Yeah, exactly, Jennifer. Exactly.
Oh,
gonna
there's
be that.
Rittenhouse again.
Yeah, there's Kyle.
And I'm never gonna not unsee him now as Kyle Rittenhouse.
I'm telling you, he looks just like him. Like, especially when it's like live. Like, I don't know. Look, it looks like him.
I
then
didn't
she
like this
says bye to his
scene.
family. This is the scene that he says bye.
Yeah, I didn't like this scene because it seems to be a constant theme with boys. It's like he's the eldest, he's in charge, but then he tells the girls like, "I know you're really in charge," because they don't know. She's like, "Well, they don't know what they're doing."
Oh my god, yeah, I picked that up.
I mean, that's kind
too.
of like the maturity angle with parents.
Right.
With the girls. Like girls are always more mature than boys. I mean, that's true.
Well, at least they're. I mean, the inclination is that they're a bit more responsible than the boys who just want to have fun, but.
Right.
That levels out pretty quick once you get into the 20s. I think that's kind of what I found out. It's like, yeah, so if you have like a 15-year-old boy, you have a 14-year-old girl, the 14-year-old girl is probably going to be a little bit more cautious and responsible than the 15-year-old boy.
Yes.
But by the time they each hit 22, it's like, yeah, all bets are off. Either one of them could be crazy dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
See, that's what I miss about years ago. I could enjoy a film without having to think, is this a message? Is this being pushed? Is this not being pushed?
Yeah,
What
this
did you
time around,
think-
I just basically saw it as almost a traditional view where the girl's going to be the one to look after the boy, the babysitter, the mother nurturing figure.
Makes
what did
sense.
you think of this scene, Jane?
Basically the same. I didn't pay too much attention to it. It just seemed repetitive too because we've been through this before with the kids before. So I just didn't see any point to it. I didn't see how it moved anything forward.
Can
Yeah.
someone tell me why the kid all of a sudden became sign language?
Well, his
His
dad's
dad's
deaf because of all the head injuries and stuff.
Oh.
He's
Hawkeye's
got the
going
hearing
up to
aid.
him. Yeah, that's why they're showing the hearing aid. From the time in the theater, he's starting to go.
Oh, that's why. Okay. I
But the
didn't
thing is,
realize.
they keep doubling down on him being deaf, and I can't help but think that that's partly to give him some sort of disability representation. Like he couldn't just be a straight male masculine.
Oh, so he's
father
not deaf
figure.
in the comics?
He's
he
not.
does-
No.
Eventually, he goes deaf in one series. I don't know for the rest. I know in one series he does, but again, they reboot them so often and have different versions.
Yeah,
think
mean,
all these
I look at it
diversity-
this way. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Teresa.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, I swear now that they're starting to have diversity things like that for eligibility for awards and the like, I think they're thinking just in case we will be eligible for an Emmy, you're supposed to have so many people like in wheelchairs or
Oh my
deaf
god.
or blind. No, it's for
Really?
real.
You think that's what they're doing this for? Oh
So
my god.
they're
hope
just getting
not.
used to it. Just
I mean-
throwing in someone. Let's make someone deaf. I don't know if I could be
What are you
wrong,
gonna have?
but
Best
I know
actor
that
for
these are
blind?
becoming qualifications questions now.
Well, it's
Well-
diversity.
It
Yeah.
could be diversity, or it could be them trying to copy what Nolan did with the Dark Knight Rises, where Bruce Wayne lost all the cartilage in his knees from all of his vigilantism, and they're just trying to show, like, because Clint Barton is the most human out of all the Avengers, he's
It's
facing
going to have some
consequences
sort
from-
of
he's facing consequences for all the stuff he's doing, because that's what they did the montage with, where he's crashing through the window, he's doing the stuff in all the Avengers films, all the injuries he's getting. It's like,
right.
yeah, and the explosions going off. I mean, William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy lost hearing in their right and left ear from an explosion on the episode that introduced the Gorn. And that was just like
Really?
a moderate explosion. That wasn't even anything too serious, yet they both lost hearing in 1 year each.
Mark says Hawkeye went deaf in the comics. Last comic I read with Hawkeye was Deadpool versus Hawkeye.
Okay,
I
there we
knew,
go.
I knew he became deaf. It's just I don't know. They have multiple versions. I don't know if he's still deaf in which universe.
Nomad is saying in the comic books he shoved a sonic arrow in his mouth to go partially deaf
Oh, wow.
to defeat an enemy. I forgot
Yikes.
who. Okay, wow. Okay,
Oh.
all right.
Oh, there's
Thank
you.
a villain with a top hat that has kind of like a hypnotizing ray that's in there that the Daredevil
Ooh,
fought at one
You
point.
want to see a hypnotizing thing? I know this sounds really weird, but look at. Hold on.
Oh,
Yeah, something like that actually.
Don't look, she's hypnotizing you.
I'm falling asleep.
I love these.
You're gonna
They're
give
my
up your bank
posters.
account number soon.
Oh my god. Okay. So then he says bye. This is where she's like, "You're gonna." I really thought you were gonna be home for Christmas, Dad. And he's like, sorry. Like I
Oh
gotta
well.
take some business, but I'll be there. I'll be there for Christmas. See you there. Blah blah blah. And then they're like, okay. Meanwhile, she's feeding the dog pizza still. And she's wearing this like weird ass shit from the ant. Which was funny because I was like, hey, she finally looks kind of feminine. And it turns out it's like her crazy aunt's outfit. And I was like, fuck, like she's like, where, like probably some like 60-year-old woman, like clothes. And then she ends up going out. Again, I was like, what is she wearing? But then it turns out it's like the aunt's clothing. Like here, I was like, what is that?
Flowers.
Yeah, what are you
That
wearing?
is the David S. Pumpkins suit, I think maybe.
It was bizarre. But it's like her aunt's clothes. Even the mom was like, "What are you wearing?" But then they're like walking and talking. I don't remember about what right now. But then
Because he
she
told
goes,
her my number. He's like, and she's like, I'll call
That's
you. He's like,
right.
no.
Yeah, don't
only
call me.
Emergencies only, or I block and delete you.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, I'll call you. You will be talking. No. He's like, we won't see each other again. Hopefully.
Yeah.
right. He did not want to have anything more to do with her because she was annoying. Oh, there was another part that was funny. In there was actually another line that reminded me in this that was really funny in the pharmacy when she was like, don't treat me like a bag of money. And he's like, a bag of money would be useful to me.
Yeah,
And
that's
I
right.
thought that was funny. I was like, yeah, that would be more useful than whatever she's got going on. But yeah, so there's definitely some good lines in this one. So then she sees this dude in her mom's office. This is when the mom's like, what are you wearing?
What are they wearing? They're wearing turtlenecks
Yep.
with
Yep.
blazers. What is this,
Yep.
1992?
Yeah.
Hey, it's coming back in apparently.
I think it's villain
Wow.
chic.
Villain, yeah, it's totally villain chic.
Oh my god, that's true. This guy has such a villain mustache
He's got the
too. Like,
mustache, the twirl.
yeah, he's got that twirl going on. Like he totally does.
Is that the same actor who was in Deadpool that played the normal guy?
Real? Is it?
I
It
don't
looks
know.
like him. In that one shot you did, the face looked familiar, but I gotta double check that because
Yeah, someone in the chat said he looks like Geraldo further back.
He does look like Geraldo. That's true.
But he has the voice a little bit of that guy who does the commercials. I think it's Dos Equis where he's like the coolest man alive. He's trying
Oh my
to pull
god,
that-
no, that guy's way cooler than this guy.
Oh, absolutely is.
The
But
Dos Equis guy.
yeah, he's trying to pull that. But this is the scene where he does the psychoanalyzing.
like-
You
Yeah,
feeling
and then
trapped
yeah,
right
I
now?
it's Tony Dalton. It's not the same guy, but he looks like him there with the.
So
Mickey
this
Mouse.
this dude though, this was another line that I thought was pretty good because he said a bunch of stuff to her, and I was like, "Yeah, this guy's pretty smart." And then he's like, "I bought a book about being a stepdad," and I thought that was really smart.
It was shocking. That did catch me because I was like, man, this guy's like some super whoop ass therapist genius.
Yeah, that was really funny because I was like, "Wow, he's like actually like right on the money about why she's feeling the way she is, and she's feeling like she needs to be validated and blah blah blah." And then he's like, "I bought a book about being a stepdad," and I was like, "Okay, that's pretty funny." So they definitely had some funny lines.
You know who he reminds me of? Y'all ever? He reminds me of like that film that I don't remember. Marky Mark did, or is it Marky Mark? The one who has the
Mark Wahlberg.
Boogie Nights. He reminds me of somebody from Boogie Nights.
Like,
Well, it's a very
Burt
70s
Reynolds'
mustache,
character in
though.
Boogie Nights.
I don't remember what his name was, but I swear this guy's from Boogie Nights.
Is Tony Dalton. He's in Better Call Saul.
Okay.
Let's
Oh,
see.
yeah,
He started acting in 1997.
Ah.
So yeah, I didn't know, not Boogie Nights.
Okay.
But
Well, he's
no,
just
I
got
know
that-
I get what you're saying. Yeah,
He's got that 70 porn vibe. I don't know. It's
it's
just-
the
He
mustache, man,
does.
and the
It's the
slick back
mustache.
hair.
yeah.
Juan Burgundy, yes,
Yeah.
But yeah, so then that this is when Hawkeye shows up to the this fair. He at first he really doesn't want to go in. He's very hesitant. This took a long time. Look at this. Look how much I jumped.
Yeah.
A while. It was a while. So he finally gets the suit back from this guy. He had to fight him to get it back, like fight, quote unquote, like.
And he's
fake
like,
fight.
"I'm begging you just to kill me so I can get
Right.
this suit and get
I
out of
thought
here."
he was gonna beat
Yeah.
some of them up and just go through it, but they really dragged it out.
No, they really dragged.
They
this
thought
one
they
out.
were being clever.
Yeah,
Making
it
fun of the
wasn't-
nerds because it's not like nerds are the people that watch this stuff. Come on.
Right.
A-holes.
I really
Yeah.
did think this was it was in poor taste that they were making fun of this community because
course.
I'm telling you these are the people who dress up as Hawkeye and go to the cons. These are the
Right.
people who are like,
Exactly.
you
Who buy
know, are
everything.
their biggest fans, and they're like, oh, you guys are
Who
just
give
a
'em
bunch of
money.
joke.
Yeah.
Well, he is the biggest fan. This guy's a huge fan.
He
He's
is.
just
Yeah, I-
They're the
absolutely
ones that'll
annoying.
buy your stupid comics, you dumbasses.
I know. That's why I didn't like it. They just kept pouring salt on it. It's like, okay, get through it, get it over with.
Mark is right. He also did look like Burt Reynolds.
Not a bad.
Yeah,
not the-
yeah, Burt Reynolds.
That's funny.
Burt Reynolds before the
Smoking
plastic
stick.
surgery.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. So then she's like texting him because she found out some info about the guy. I forget what
And
the
then
info was.
here's the funny part. So she gets investigated by one of the detectives, and the detective's like, "Well, where were you during the fire?" And it's like, I was at my mom's party," but she doesn't even think to say that because that's the perfect alibi. Everybody saw her there, away from her apartment. It's like, I was at my mom's party. There was a building shake, and then police were outside, and I lost track of my mom, and that was what.
Right.
Like she has the perfect alibi right then and there. She doesn't even think to use it.
No.
Instead, she's like, "I'm just going to call you back and we'll schedule this for tomorrow morning before work because, that's important."
Yeah. That's also true. I didn't think about that, but you're right because she did have an alibi, and then it's like now she has to make up one, and it's like, girl, you already had one. Oh my god, I forgot they went back to the scene. The scene's not even over.
It's
I
not.
forgot that they like stepped away from this to go to that, and then came back to this. Like this was way longer than I expected. This is when they fight. Okay.
See, that's thin. You could see the hood is thin.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's all thin material.
Yeah.
Okay, then they find, or they finally finish the duel or whatever, and then he gives them the outfit. This guy thanks him.
Return the outfit. Yeah, they'll definitely charge your credit card if you don't.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah,
that was their
Har, har.
joke.
Har har.
Did you like that when he walked up when he was trying to get in and those two women were hassling him? He's like, I just need to talk to that guy. I don't remember what they said, but there was something about it. I don't remember the words.
Karenish.
It was.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jayne.
Yeah, because they were like, you have to follow the rules here,
Right.
and like you can't go in unless you're
There are
like, you know.
rules.
Yeah, and he was like, "What rules?" And then like they gave him a bunch of rules. I was
They
like,
gave him
"Okay."
a vest and a sword and a writ, and it's
Mhm.
and it.
Uh-huh.
But I will say this: the relationship that he had with the fireman was like, "Listen, just give me the suit. Like I'm gonna pretend to hit you, and you're gonna die, and I'm gonna take the suit, or I'm gonna really hit you and take the suit." And you could tell he didn't want to do either of them really. He just wanted to get this thing. And then when he finally gets the suit handed over to him, he actually is like kind of respectful. He's like, you can call me Clint. You don't need to hero worship me or all that type of stuff, you know. And
Yeah, I like that too. I thought that was
That was a good
pretty
line.
cool.
yeah.
Good line. Much different than Tony Stark.
Yeah.
That's true.
Tony would be like, wait, I need a suit of armor, and then he just like taps his chest twice, and all of a sudden it's just covered. He's like, okay, let's do this, LARPers.
Yeah, totally. Tony would beat the shit out of them for real.
I think he would make a game out of it.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm just gonna fly over here, you know.
Oh my gosh. So then he gets a call from his wife, and his family's already doing the Christmas things that he wanted to do with his kids, and he didn't get to do, like making gingerbread houses and blah blah blah. And she knows about like all his life, so
Oh yeah.
he like tells her like what's going
Everything.
on, and that's cool too.
For
like
5
seeing
years, I
that
killed criminals
relationship.
because you were gone. You know?
Yeah, but it's good. It's good to see like a classic relationship on
Healthy,
screen, because you
yeah.
don't really see
Yes.
those things anymore. So I like that they're like communicating and they're together in a strong family unit, nuclear family. You don't see that kind of stuff anymore. So that's good. This stuff was good. His relationship with his wife is good. I like all
Aw.
that stuff.
Yeah.
He loves him.
Yeah, he loves them. They love
But
him.
see, right there, even when he says she says a little catch and release, you can see how much he shares with her. I mean, even their little spy lingo that he used with Black Widow. I mean, everything. So I like that aspect of the relationship. It's like,
Yeah, and I like that too, like how she's like, it's one of Nat's old moves, like how she like refers to her, and like there's no like animosity there, like
Right.
she's not like jealous of his relationship with her, and like realizing that he's still mourning for another woman or whatever.
Right.
Like she doesn't have that, like she's not salty about it, and I think that that's really cool.
and it's rare today.
It
Yeah.
is. Any thoughts on that, Jane?
I loved it for the same reason. They have a great relationship, very healthy. She seems pretty supportive of him, and she's like a stabilizing force.
Yep.
Mhm. Yep. What about
I'm
you,
glad they
Teresa?
showed that he had that connection.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
I like that too.
Well, I agree. I think that it's really nice to see a relationship where a woman is also understanding, hey, this was a friend of his, like a sister, and not being jealous of it and understanding it for what it is, and the fact that they trusted each other enough to be open and honest. It's more realistic than one would think. That stuff really does happen in real life,
I agree.
but
I
it's
agree 100%.
not always shown on screen. Yeah, so it's good.
E. Clay here says, why not just threaten to report his thief ass for the suit? See, that's the thing. Like, I thought about that too. Like, I was like, well, why not like just, because it was kind of uncool that fire guy would like take evidence from a scene. Like that was.
It would be national news though, and he's not trying
Yeah.
to reveal himself.
It would.
Right.
I was going to say, he's not supposed to have the suit. It would give him.
He
away,
could make the
as Jane
threat,
said.
but the thing is, he could never deliver on it.
Right.
And there's no way for the other guy to know. But I mean, if anything, he should say, like, listen, you know who I am? I'm Hawkeye. I'm an Avenger. You took that suit from a crime scene.
Right.
Right.
Let's not mince words here. Give it back to me. I'll take care of this thing, and we can just call it, a mulligan or something. I mean, that's
Right.
kind of
Or, like-
the logic of it.
Or like even in the end, like when he finally gets the suit back and he's telling him like his name is Clint and like don't call him that, or like don't call him Hawkeye or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
he could have said something like, "Hey, by the way, like maybe don't take stuff from crime scenes." Like, it's just kind of
Yeah.
like, just kind of like throw it out there, like, because that was like,
Don't
not
post yourself
cool.
wearing it on the internet because someone's going to come after you.
Come
And I think that's probably going
Like,
to be the case later
immediately
on.
after,
Someone's going to come
yeah.
after him. Yeah.
Yeah, like immediately after you steal something from a crime scene, like maybe don't wear it on Instagram. But okay.
It's this generation, man. You got to advertise everything.
But you can tell, but you can tell the way they're mythologizing in the universe the whole Avengers. I mean, from the beginning with the play,
Yeah.
I mean, these aren't just heroes. These are the people who saved the world. So you could see why he wouldn't report it. Also, he would have to then deal with the whole Ronin thing. Like, okay, after the blink, I was out murdering people. Bad guys, but I was out murdering people.
And then they have dinner. And after the dinner, she kind of like challenges him to like a fencing thing.
Well,
And
there's
he's
a
like,
dining
"All right."
sword on the table. So.
Yeah. So
She was interrogating. I think they were showing the little side of her that trying to connect to Hawkeye, like Black Widow, doing that thing where she's talking to him, but letting him say everything that he doesn't want to say by saying whatever he's trying to prove to her. You remember that?
The ego stroking, which that worked really well in the Russian part of the scene. It did not work effectively in the Loki stuff. Even though Loki, the lines that are exchanged between them are brilliant, but like her jumping to the conclusion of like, oh, you wanted the Hulk here is like that is a leap, because I've read that as a script and I've listened to it like, yeah, you're leaping there. If he could have said any other word but monster, and you would never have gotten to that, like, you're the villain, you're the evildoer, you're the beast, the creature, the assassin, anything. Is like she would never be able to associate that with the Hulk. And that's the kind of the thing. In order to lead up to that result of the Hulk, you have to have a couple more clues or breadcrumbs to come to that conclusion, and there was nothing of it there. It's just like, oh, you wanted Banner here. It's like, whoa, hold on a second. I was listening to this conversation. That's a big leap. I mean, it's an accurate leap, but it's a very big leap because the dialogue doesn't preclude to that resolution logically.
So then, and all those are all great points, Script Doctor. And then she challenges him. They finally they're like, yeah, okay, fine, let's fight. Or he's like, let's fight. The mom doesn't want them to, but of course they do. And then he keeps letting her win. And she's like, don't let me win. Like, oh my God, like, don't do that. And he keeps doing it. And then so she finally attacks him like in the face, like for realsies. And he does like do like a reflex thing where he he
disarms her. Yeah.
He disarms her. He knocks out the sword from her hand. He disarms her. And her mom gets all pissed. Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you trying to beat up my husband, or like my soon to be husband, my fiance? And he's just like, he's obviously hiding something. There's something going on. We don't know what yet though. And she kind of basically through going for that aggressive move, basically proved that he's lying about his intentions and like a lot of other things. And she's just like, yeah, like your boyfriend's a liar, basically. And the mom doesn't really seem to care all that much.
Because mom's getting the hookup night, She's
yeah.
Well,
she's gonna be getting some of that inheritance when she says I do. Yeah.
And she even says that here, she's like, don't you find it odd that his uncle died from a sword thing? Yeah, last night from a sword wound. And how many sword murders do we get in New York City? Never.
I think it's a few hundred actually. To be
really,
it is. That's pretty funny.
I remember a few years ago there was some dude with a katana who ran around, but I didn't know there was.
There's an actor with a celebrity that was on the bridge with a katana 10 years ago. I remember that.
That's what I'm talking about. Somebody
yeah. And I know in Toronto there's a lot of sword related domestics that don't always result in death, and I know that because one of my friends is a cop who deals with that type of stuff.
Sword.
And it's just it's very odd, but I'm pretty sure if you Google how many sword related crimes are in New York, you probably will get a number of hits.
Okay, let's Google that right now. Let's see.
Everybody Google
sword
sword
murders?
deaths in New York.
Sword deaths
or sword attacks, yeah.
Or sword attacks,
the mom's guilty as F.
New
the
York,
mom's behind it all.
2021. Let's see. New York.
I don't know about 2021 because it's been kind of a closed year, but
okay, well,
2019.
2019 would probably be good, yeah.
2019. Oh my God, the first thing that came up was white supremacist pleads guilty to NYC sword slaughter.
There is.
There we go.
Jesus.
So even the writers of Disney Plus did not do the research.
Certifiable.
Oh my God, it literally was the first results. White supremacist pleads guilty to NYC sword slaughter of random black man.
Yeah, with sword. Gets life for killing black man during sword attack. Then there's one in Baltimore. What the hell? White supremacist from Baltimore pleads guilty to sword killing.
What the hell is this?
I didn't realize the Klan was into swords.
Yeah, this is so bizarre.
There you go.
This is a new rabbit hole for us
All
to
those
fall
white
down.
supremacists.
I mean, they're running around like medieval, evil Casper the Unfriendly.
Or conquistadors,
Sword?
you know.
Yeah, Jesus.
What the hell? This just got really bizarre. Okay, moving on. We're almost done
Wow.
here, so
Wow.
let's just finish this.
Are we sure maybe
insane-
some of those writers don't work for Disney?
I mean, damn.
You know, you would not be surprised the amount of crossover there is
I was
between
joking, but-
journalists and fictional writers.
You're serious, right? No,
I thought you were
you're
going
not.
to say in white supremacists.
Oh no!
I don't know what the white supremacist part, but like I do know a lot of people that start off as writing, and when they don't get their assignment gigs, they go into journalism because it's like blog reports and stuff, and then they go back and forth between the two. I refuse to do that because I have integrity.
Thank God.
Well, journalism is fiction nowadays.
Oh, today,
That's
yeah.
true.
It used
Well,
to
far
be
more than it used to. I mean, it was always contentious when in its inception, but it's just grown exponentially over the decades. So
It used to be the fourth estate that we could count on. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
no.
that was
Sherman
the goal,
said if
yeah,
he
to try
killed
and do
them all,
something.
they would be news from hell the next morning.
No.
Yep.
This part is interesting to me because I didn't even realize she was still in school until right now. Because he's like, yeah, you'll graduate, and then in the
I guess she
fall,
could have
we'll-
taken a gap year.
That's true.
I mean,
I
if
thought
she
she
was
just
blinked out of
came-
existence, maybe.
I thought she just
Oh.
The
came
little
back from
brat
school.
should have been expelled for knocking down the whole
Yeah.
friggin' tower.
Right.
I don't
but
know. If a school can find a
She's
way to get
rich.
extra money out of their students, they will.
Yeah, they would just buy a new building for the school. Or
Right. Now
something.
that's true. I went to a
Mhm.
private school and
Well,
they were
that's,
proud of
yeah,
it.
mommy just has to write a check.
Yeah,
Right.
and apparently, like it was always her plan for her to work for her or something like that. It's like because then you'll come work for my security company, and she's like you always planned, and it's like, girl,
But see-
Well,
we've talked about
what's
it.
Kate Bishop's plan again? Have we been told that what her goal is?
We
What's-
don't know
What is she
what her
studying?
goal is.
No, we have no direction for her.
Hawkeye.
Oh yeah.
She's
Well, the
studying
only thing
Hawkeye.
we know is that she wanted to be Hawkeye. That's
Yeah.
what we know.
Protector. She wants to be an Avenger. Yeah.
She doesn't want to join
Basically,
the Starfleet, the Star Academy, like Luke Skywalker. You know, back on
She
that.
wanted to be. She wants to be an Avenger, and she wants to like basically be a vigilante. That's what I got from
Yeah.
this. is
Wait
that
till she
her
finds
dream has
out
always
from
been-
the new Captain America that there's no pay.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Well, that's the other thing too, is that he commented on that too, because he was like somebody, who did he say? He said somebody sold the Avengers compound.
Oh, Tony Stark sold the Avengers compound.
Tony, okay.
Not the compound, the
the
tower.
building.
Stark
The
Tower.
building. The building. Yeah.
yeah,
yeah,
the
the building.
buildings. I said
Because I think
tower.
that's going to be the Fantastic Four's new building. And
That
that's
might be
my
the Baxter
speculation.
building. Yeah.
Yeah.
But she was like, "Oh, that's so sad." Like, because she wanted to go see that building. She like, she wants to be an Avenger. Clearly, like that's
They
basically her
barely
whole
used that
shtick.
set. Like that's basically
Yeah.
what like you have this great little monument in New York City. Like, okay, this should be in here for 3 or 4 movies. Nope,
Right.
gone after the Avengers 2.
I thought they would keep it forever. I really
It'd be
did.
nice, yeah.
As the East Coast Avengers, and then eventually they do the West Coast Avengers, but no.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And then this is when he offers her that little candy from his
Oh, yeah.
pocket, like the little Armand, whatever. And at
Armand,
first,
butterscotch. Yeah.
Is that
butterscotch.
the
At first, I
third?
didn't get this. I was like,
Yes,
why?
because the
why is
uncle's
she
the
putting it
3rd,
out?
and then the kid that we saw is the 7th. And
Ah.
So then I
Butterscotch.
didn't realize at first, I guess because I didn't pay enough attention the first time. But this stuff was in the uncle's house. That's why she's like all like, oh my god, you have the same candy. But then again, they're related, so it's like,
Yeah,
and they both live in New York, so like they don't visit each other.
exactly.
yeah, I don't know. And
I mean,
they're
Here's a
that's
candy
that's not
dish.
much of a clue. It's like if there's blood on it, maybe.
yeah, or like he went to his uncle's house and took some candy. Like I don't.
It's
I
like,
don't
yeah,
know.
that morning I grabbed some candy from the dish.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, this is creepy. Want some candy? I mean that is a little creepy, but whatever. Then after that, he's got that creepy smile. Look at him again. He's more creepers. And then that's when Clint decides to get
Captured.
captured. Yeah, I was gonna say arrested, but he's not really arrested. So he decides he wants to get captured by the tracksuit mafia. Meanwhile, she's like texting him and trying to get a hold of him. But she can't yet. But she like decides to like hack her phone. Oh, because they pick up his phone and then they say like, I'm sorry, Clint Barton can't take your call right now. So she hacks his location through her mom's security company, because I guess they can do that.
How
Yeah,
convenient.
they triangulate her location with the.
Yeah, there it is. Bishop Security. So I guess like Bishop Security is by the way, which I'd never even heard of, is that like better than what's that other security company that they have in Marvel? It's like Wilson Fisk uses it.
Oh,
It's the Green Goblin's dad's company. What was
Oscorp
his name?
Security.
Oscorp. That's right. Oscorp. Isn't that like the main security like company in like Marvel? Like shouldn't they be using Oscorp? Is Bishop Security like a thing now, or like I don't know?
That's a good question. I'm not 100% on that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't because I'd never heard of freaking Bishop Security before, but Oscorp is definitely
Oscorp hasn't even officially been introduced in this version of the MCU yet, so.
Is that why? Okay, maybe. Yeah, there's also Hammer Tech, but yeah, Oscorp is what I was thinking of, because
There's Hammer Tech, Oscorp, Roxxon, which we've already seen in Loki. Trying to think of
yeah,
some others.
Oscorp is the Stark competitor. It's true. That's true.
Yeah, that's Harry Osborn becomes Iron Patriot at one point.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so then she tracks him down. She does like her wizard shit. She's like, "Oh my god, Hawkeye, I'm gonna rescue you now," because that's
What is
my
this
show.
scene paralleling?
Oh my god, right?
Natasha, yeah.
This is definitely
Natasha. A lot of callbacks to that, to Black Widow.
Almost like it's a crutch.
Interesting. Yeah.
Really? Here, nice little member berry.
well, and then they're all Russian, of course. Like they have to be, because isn't she Russian?
Well, Natalia was Russian originally, yeah.
Yeah. So then I don't know. They're just talking. It's
Nostrovia.
bullshit. It's all a bunch of bullshit here. Then she shows up in her suit, which I was like, wait, you had time to go get like a new suit and change? I didn't get.
That's what she wore when she got busted from the bell tower.
Yeah, but like she didn't have
She had
time to
change and do her hair.
change. Like
Yeah.
she was already in the car heading to where he is. But she's like, let me make a pit stop and go grab my gear before we end up going.
Well, she gave him her normal address, and then she's like, "I need you to drive faster, please." And that's the last we heard of him.
Right.
She didn't ask him to change direction.
Right. I don't know. I just didn't think that this was. I didn't.
At first, I was wondering, wait, did she imply to go directly to where Clint was? But no, she didn't. I had to double back on that part.
I just didn't. It didn't make sense to me that she would wear the suit, because she wasn't wearing the suit at her mom's, and she wasn't wearing the suit like
She should still be dressed as David S. Pumpkins with the.
She should be.
Yeah, she didn't have a backpack on or anything, so that we can be like, okay, maybe the suit was in the backpack. Like,
Maybe she broke into somebody else's home.
Just like stole the suit. Yeah, so then she shows up, obviously, and then she wants to save them. This was also another demeaning position here for Hawkeye for me.
The unicorn.
On the unicorn, yeah.
Yeah, he's on the unicorn, and it just doesn't look right. And she's on a rocket ship, and she's she looked okay, and he looked like so completely just, I don't know. It didn't look good. This whole scene just didn't look good to me for him. But whatever.
And the Russians call everyone bro. That was cringy. Weird.
I thought they were all married to Buffy.
So then he just keeps like being like, I want to talk to your manager. I want to know who your boss is. Blah blah blah. I came here to talk to them, and then it turns out to be this woman, who again I have no idea who this person is.
Is this the one they call Echo?
I think so. Yes.
Oh, that's supposed to be Echo.
I didn't know who Echo is. From what is she from?
Some comic series. I had never heard of her. I just kept hearing about her when they were talking about the run up to the series, that some villain Echo is going to get her own show at some point or something.
Yeah.
Wait, Jane, what'd you say?
I think that's the Native American one, right?
I'm not
She had her
sure.
own comic series.
I'm not
Isn't
sure.
that American Chavez?
No, that's
it's a different one.
Different.
Oh, there's another. Okay, there's more.
Is she deaf too? I don't think she's deaf. What, is she deaf?
I think she was deaf, or she can't hear because she has the white noise going.
Oh, is that why she's got all these speakers and shit? Okay.
That's what I remember.
She feels sound vibrations, I guess.
Okay. I just didn't like again, like another girl like bossing around a bunch of men. I was like, okay, like this is getting a little old now.
And it makes even less sense that she's in charge of the Russian.
Yeah, like the Russians.
They're kind of
don't-
like, apex predators of the mafia world. You'd think I don't know, they'd have the typical guy you had in John Wick.
But she would
Yeah.
have her own crew, right? Like
That's what I'm
Yeah, it's your
thinking, Jane.
tracksuit crew.
Like, is she Russian? She doesn't look
No, she's
Russian.
not Russian. She's Native American. That's what I'm
No.
saying. Like,
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Wouldn't she
should
have her
have-
own Native
Exactly.
American?
Maybe
Native
they have-
American Russian.
Maybe they have their own tracksuit mafia. We're gonna get all the tracksuit people, the
Yeah.
red guys, the black ones, the purple. I mean, Jesus, everybody's gonna come out the marathon mafia.
Oh, she's a
event.
Daredevil character. Okay, all right.
Ooh.
I don't know.
I
I
like
like
the idea
it.
of the Marathon Mafia.
Oh, adopted daughter of Kingpin, villain to Daredevil. Oh,
Oh.
okay. Now I know
Oh,
who she
okay.
is. Thank you. I know that now. Okay.
Well, that
Okay.
would make sense because Daredevil has like Bullseye, Elektra, and all the the names.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, and then there's no ending scene or anything. So that's it. That's all she wrote. So that was the first 2 episodes of Hawkeye, everybody. Yay, we got through it.
Woohoo! We survived.
So what do you guys think? Like, do you think Echo is gonna be like a minor villain? Because I don't think she's gonna be. I don't think she's a major villain in this. It doesn't seem like it. Like they're just here to kind of like. I don't know why.
They're a very out of the main narrative plot device.
Yeah.
Because again, they only showed up to get revenge on Ronin, and Hawkeye's only involving himself with them to end their need for revenge on anyone else that shows up with that suit. So basically, he's trying to just tie up loose ends. And we haven't even gotten to the main part of the plot, which is the murder of that guy who did it.
Yes, exactly.
And the soon-to-be
whodunit.
stepfather being part of the family. Like this, that's more of the bigger story. But I'm pretty sure they'll find some way to weave this all together, where some Echo's connected or in cahoots with someone on Bishop's family side of things, and it's going to feel contrived because it most likely will be.
Maybe the Bishop's father's the one who's killing the people.
Yeah, maybe there'll be no body of the dad, and it shows up, and like the dad's the bad guy. Like he did everything he had to try and
protect her,
make her family, wealthy, and then at the same time,
You mean the guy that we think faked his death?
Yeah.
Okay.
That could be the case.
I mean, Hollywood's done it
I can see
before.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Her and Kate will fall in love, and she will turn good in the end.
Well, in the new
They'll
Hollywood,
definitely do some lesbo shit with that.
that could
that's for
explain
sure.
why they aged her up.
That could also explain the pantsuit.
they will definitely. Well, if they did that, you'd have that lip lock and bow action.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I can see
Gives
it.
new meaning to the term knocking point.
Knocking
my
point,
God.
scissoring. Yeah, there you go. They're gonna
Yeah,
have it all.
scissoring.
But
They'll
it's
definitely be
Disney
scissoring.
Plus, so you know they're gonna tone it down a little.
We'll find out for sure when Eternals hits Disney Plus, and we see that love scene.
Yeah, that will be interesting.
reworked.
Echo's getting her own show. She won't be here long. Swordmaster is going to be the main antagonist for Kate. The new widow is going to be after Clint. Yeah, that's the other thing, right? We're going to be waiting for
Pew pew.
Well, I'm waiting for Pew Pew to show up. I don't know when she's going to show up, but she's going to show up at some point. And we know she's going after Clint because of what happened at the end of
Black Widow.
Yeah.
Which nobody knows
right.
that story except for Clint and maybe some of the Avengers.
Right.
right.
Here's the other thing: they're supposed to have D'Onofrio in the show at some point as a cameo.
That is the rumor, and I hope that's the case because he was excellent as Kingpin.
Oh, he was. I think that's one of the best shows. Daredevil.
That would be really cool if they did that. I really liked him as Kingpin.
Phenomenal.
He played him so differently too. So.
Yeah.
But apparently the like they're gonna have Daredevil in the new Spider-Man, so I don't see how
Yeah, that's already been confirmed. I mean, they're basically going to say
real?
some of the cast members from the Netflix series are that Disney wants to integrate into their Disney Plus stuff. They're going to be brought in eventually. they're trying to keep that close to the chest, but a lot of people out there have been scooping those ideas. I really want to see Mike Coulter as Power Man Luke Cage again.
Hell
I thought he was
yeah, I
really
loved
good
him.
in
Yeah,
that first season.
man. That was a good show.
I don't
That
want
was
the guy who
indifferent with
played. I
Jessica
don't want.
Jones.
Yeah, I don't like the guy who played Iron Fist at all. He was horrible in it.
He
Iron
was
Fist
bad.
great.
Like they
Yeah,
really
didn't
botched
like it.
Iron Fist.
He couldn't move at all. And when he said they gave him only like 2 weeks or 3 weeks in the first season of training, I'm like, how could they do that? They said for Daredevil, he spent 6 months training.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
that
that's
was
weird.
it's really messed up. The one thing that I'm kind of learning slowly with regards to streaming is that the deadlines are far narrower.
Oh.
So you don't have a whole lot of time to really rework a script or break down a season story and make that, the best it can be, because the content has to get out in order to maintain your subscriber numbers and then also grow your subscriber numbers. So
Right.
everything is kind of rush. You're supposed to turn everything in yesterday.
You know what I never watched?
Mm.
Daredevil season 3 because
Oh,
I got mad that they canceled it, and I was like, well, then I'm never gonna watch this. Why would I
Season
watch
3
this?
is both good and
there you
bad
go.
because there's some really good aspects to it, but then they kind of try to take him back to his position in season 1.
Yeah.
But like,
And-
should I watch it? Like, or
I
is it gonna
would.
be like
I would
I'm
watch it because it does end on a great cliffhanger.
Yep.
But
And
I
it's not
hate
good and bad.
cliffhangers.
It-
Like
it's
ending.
good, but he's coming back. So you know he's coming back. That's the thing. Is
Yeah.
She
Daredevil, they're
knows
bringing
me.
it.
She
Yeah, well,
knows.
now that we know he's coming back, I think this would
So
be
it's
the
not a
good time to do
cliffhanger
it.
for you. Yeah, now would be.
Yeah.
It's gonna have. I think it has some great scenes, but it, like Script Doc said, it's got some bad. You just push through it.
Just like
Yeah, because
I
the first
I
season
got
was him
mad. I was like,
becoming
oh.
Daredevil. The second
Right.
season is him Daredevil, and the third
Right.
season is him kind of trying to abandon Daredevil. It's like
Right.
you're rushing through too much stuff right now.
Right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I just never watched it because I got mad at Netflix. I was like, well, if you're canceling it, why would I watch this?
Right.
You can also skip the Defenders, even though that is
I
what
watched
sets up
that.
for
I watched
the
that.
Defender sets up season 3 of Daredevil quite.
Yeah, I
definitively.
watched that because I was into the whole. I was into that whole group, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Sigourney Weaver was interesting in that. I was in it.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of neat bringing her into
Was.
Venus.
I liked it.
Wait,
I
who
didn't
was
like.
she? I forget.
She played the main baddie, the head of the
Head of the
Black
hand.
head of the hand.
Ah, yeah. That's true. Okay,
I didn't
yeah.
like the father and I like that actor. I just didn't like him in that role. It just felt so, I don't know, copy and paste. It didn't feel like a good bad guy.
Yeah, just kind of derivative type of thing.
Yes,
Like,
derivative.
yeah.
Perfect word. But they're bringing him back. They're bringing Matt Murdock back, the guy who played him.
Yeah. Oh, Charlie Cox is coming back.
Charlie
Yep.
Cox, yeah. So, that's what I wanted to ask. Does anybody know about Punisher? Since they're bringing Charlie Cox back as Murdock, are they bringing back?
I hope so. I
He
do know
was
that
great.
Disney does have something in the works for basically R-rated content for their subscriber service.
Cool.
And I think that's what they're going to go for. I think it's primarily for violence. I don't think it has anything to do with like nudity or language. I think that's going to be restricted still. But I think they're trying to open it up a bit more for violence.
Good.
Oh,
That'd
okay.
be great. That'd
Had
be
some
great.
good parental controls. Well, the right stuff, which they had on Disney Plus, that pushed the envelope for sure,
Mhm.
especially with language.
Bernthal was great to me as the Punisher. I mean, he
was
didn't have the
awesome.
size from the comics, but he captured that force of rage. It's like I want.
Yeah.
I liked
Yeah,
him a
good
lot
actor
too.
can do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
His stuff in season 2 of Daredevil was just top notch. Like I
Yeah.
really dug it. Like this is a guy who didn't care if he lived or died. He
Right.
just says, as long as I'm alive, I'm doing what I'm going to do,
Right.
and be damned, and everybody else be damned. And I thought that's Frank Castle because
Yep.
he's not even really a hero or an anti-hero.
No.
He's a very conflicted vigilante that's doing what he thinks is right because the system is broken, and maybe if he gets rid of enough people that are causing that system to be broken, it can mend itself and go back together. And he's willing to burden
Yes,
all that
yeah.
that evil that he has to do for it. And I'm like, that's a really interesting character, and I wish the movies kind of were able to capture that a bit better.
Yeah. Thomas
And-
Green Short caught it. That 10-minute
just
short.
Oh, the
think-
Dirty Laundry, yeah.
Yeah, it caught it. I don't know why the movie didn't catch it, but I think the greatest part was when you had Bernthal when he was as Punisher, when he was saying, "I make the decision each time whether I put a bullet in me or bullet in them,
Mhm.
because if I don't put a bullet in them, somebody else is going to die."
Mhm.
Because Daredevil's like, "How can you kill people? What are you doing?" He's like, "Well, I'm going to give you the same choice I have. You can kill yourself or you can kill them."
I just think it's really funny how those Netflix shows were all so much better
Oh,
than
yeah.
everything else that we've gotten from Disney
Yeah.
Plus, like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like those shows were I don't know how to explain it. It worked so well, and it was Netflix. I mean, the Netflix,
But they
you
had
know,
Steven
usually they're
Denied, didn't they?
Yeah, they had
Yeah.
Steven Knight for the first season. They were trying very much to meet the caliber of the Marvel films on Netflix, and that was a very difficult thing to pull off at that time, since the Marvel films were really tight stories,
Right.
at least in the earlier years.
it was just
Yeah.
surprising how much of a better job Netflix did with those series than Disney Plus has with some of their major characters,
of
like
S.H.I.E.L.D..
Loki. Like
Yeah.
they absolutely shat the bed when it came to like
Oh, yeah.
Loki series and certain other, even Wanda. Like WandaVision was like the ending just that was not good. It's not good. But anyways, moving forward, what do you think is going to happen? Jayne, tell us your theory. Jayne theory.
Haha.
As I've been thinking about everything everyone has been saying about the mom, she is starting to look a bit more suspicious to me.
Mhm.
So I wonder if she does in fact turn out to be not only the villain, but a quote unquote Black Widow of sorts,
Oh,
and kills
maybe.
the fiance.
Oh, like a femme fatale.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good.
Like she
I
needs
like the
money.
literal
This guy
Black
has
Widow.
money. Marry and kill. Marry and kill.
Exactly.
Interesting.
That's an interesting theory, Jayne. I like it. I didn't think about that at all. So, okay, if that happens, you heard it here first from Jayne theory.
Absolutely.
Darn right.
What do you think is going to happen, Teresa?
Well, along those lines, I was saying earlier on that I think that the 70s porn star stepdad is actually the good guy.
Yeah,
So-
that's what I was thinking too. I
Yeah,
don't
so
know why,
along-
but I think not
I'm sorry.
necessarily like a good guy, but I don't think he's going to be the bad guy.
Yeah, so along with Jayne theory, yeah, that the mom's the bad one and the porn star's the good one, and they're all gonna think he's all bad, and she's gonna be like, Kate's gonna be like, you're bad, I know you're bad. And he's like, no, I'm not. You don't understand. And then the mom's like, oh, ha, ha, ha,
Do
and
you
kill
think
him.
the dad is going to come back from the dead like he never killed himself or like he never died?
Yeah, and then they're gonna make out.
Make
It
out.
would be really weird if the dad ended up being
The
having
bad guy.
plastic surgery to be the guy that's the stepfather.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Oh, the dad's
Like identity theft.
Oh, that
Like,
would be interesting.
Bishop
That's
kills him and he's
interesting.
like, my baby girl, it's me.
Yeah,
Oh
And
I had
that's why he
plastic
knows all the
surgery.
sport stuff, and he's so proud of her.
Deranged Lunatics, thank you so much for the pooper sticker. I thought you sent me a rose, but then it was a pooper sticker. So thank you.
Oh, he's not my cousin today.
Yeah, it's not your cousin. Okay, so I don't know. I feel like I think that the dad might come back somehow. I don't know why, but I think the dad's gonna come back. Okay, what do you think, George? What do you think is gonna happen?
I have a funny feeling that the mother is like, because remember, you had Hydra was behind S.H.I.E.L.D. the whole time, and then we had Thanos and all that. And so you have all these Hydra agents. Well, we never found out what happened to them, but we saw at the end of Black Widow where we had, what was the Countess's name? The one who's played by Fran Drescher? Is it Fran Drescher?
No, that's Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus. I don't know why.
yeah.
I always think of Fran Drescher for some reason.
I
Julia
mean,
More appealing voice.
I
Elaine.
guess. So
Elaine
yeah,
from
Elaine,
Sci-Fi.
yada 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 yada, Elaine. So I kind of think that I felt like the mother is playing one of those, like joined
Those
Hydra
types.
or was one of the Hydra agents, and maybe was the father also, just from that
Oh.
first scene. And I think the father, or maybe the father's out there, like they're enemies, but he's out there killing people, and then they're gonna have Pew who's gonna show up, and that's pretty
And
much
she's gonna
what I
go
think.
pew pew.
Yeah.
Deranged Lunatic sends us a rose, and so does Eric K. Oh, you guys are
Oh,
showering us with
cousin.
flowers.
Sweet.
It's like the end of the show when people throw like roses on the stage.
oh yes. Take a
Aw,
bow,
thank
Nina.
you. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Script Doctor,
Yeah,
tell us your theory. What do you think is going to happen?
I have no idea with Disney. They can go anywhere.
We're throwing darts. We're throwing
Yeah,
darts.
they're throwing darts at a board with various ideas. Like, what did they film? What did they edit together? I'm lost at this point because they don't have the best of predictive natures when it comes
No.
to their story. Like we do have this the whole Russian mafia, the tracksuit mafia feels like a red herring, just a distraction to
Oh,
kind of get these two to
definitely.
be bonded together, and then when they
Yeah.
uncover the bigger story, that's when you're going to get the car chase where one's going to be shooting arrows at the
Yeah.
people pursuing them and so forth, and it's
And
going to
the
be a
picture from, like,
mentorship.
the main thumbnail that I have right now, where they're
Yes.
like basically like just hanging out and like
But I do
shooting
think
bad
Clint
guys.
is going to be an actual mentor for this girl. I think she's going to actually learn something from him, to a degree. I don't think it's going to be as prominent as traditional mentor apprentice relationships are, but
Mhm.
I'm hoping that it's going to be something a bit better, and a bit more respectful. Because one thing that I am aware of with oh my god, I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. The guy who plays Clint.
Jeremy Renner?
Jeremy Renner. Oh boy, yeah.
Wow, this is
The
the
one
first
thing I
time
know with
I
Jeremy
remember
Renner
the
is
name.
he's very much kind of a stickler for things,
Mhm.
and he does object to a lot of stuff that he doesn't like. So if he finds out that he's not doing something useful with the role, he will fight against it, and he's got that sway because he's been in a bunch of very popular films over the last 10 years. So he's got some pull. He can walk away from something and not give a damn about the consequences. He's at that point in his life, which is usually pretty good when you're dealing with less than writers and directors that just want to make the monkey dance, so to speak.
But why do you think he put up with some of the stuff in here where he became like a co-star to his own show?
I bet based on the shooting schedule, he didn't realize he would
He
be a
didn't
co-star
care.
to his.
I
He
think
either
it's
didn't
just
care
that
or he wasn't aware that he would be considered a co-star because, again, in some cases, for secrecy, they will only give the actor the pages that they are in the script that they are in.
Really?
They won't give them the full script because they don't want to risk them
and they're
spoiling.
usually contractually obligated, so they don't really have like a they'll be like,
To
here
a
you
degree.
go.
I mean, Jeremy Renner has walked away from films because he doesn't like the script going, and that's in a different context where it's like a feature film where you're given the whole thing to read, give your yes or no because it's an offer. In this case here, it's basically you, Clint or Jeremy Renner has got given his paycheck, says you're going to do this Disney Plus show. It's going to be Hawkeye. It's going to be about you passing the torch. In which case he's like, I don't have to do this after the show. Okay, great, done. I'm fine. Let's go. Let's do this.
Okay.
And he's just going to acquiesce to whatever he needs to do. But I think after this episode, it's going to be a lot more of these two paired together than they are separate, because it's only the first two episodes where we see, a little bit of Jeremy Renner, but it's focusing more on Kate because she's going to be the student. The writers are probably looking at her as like she's the Luke Skywalker to this and Clint's the Obi-Wan, but not really quite understanding the value of that relationship.
Okay.
And they're going to try and follow it out that way. If they do kill Hawkeye at the end, like that's going to be atrocious.
I think they are going to
No.
kill
Oh,
Hawkeye in the end, and I think
no.
they're going to make it so that Pew Pew is going to kill him, and then like somehow like later on
He's
like
really
or
alive.
like she's gonna realize like Kate
she was
Bishop is
used.
gonna Kate Bishop is gonna wake her up to like how she was used and like Hawkeye didn't do anything and like he was innocent, and then she's gonna be all broken up about how she killed Hawkeye, and that's gonna be like the new thing going on probably moving forward. That'll be like the new seasons of how she has to deal with like having taken Hawkeye out and everything like that. But I don't know. That's just my theory.
You think
I
they'd
think
kill
they're
him?
gonna kill him.
I thought they would. I thought they might kill him, but not really kill him. Do it the way that he wants to go back to his family, so no one in the world knows he's alive. Like they all think he's dead.
Like a stage death, yeah.
Yeah, like there you go. It's like a stage death. But to kill him, that would really like do a Tony. Wow, like an Iron Man.
Joker says no way. He goes home to his family for Christmas. That's
I think that's
also
going to be
a
it.
case too.
Yeah,
That's
he
also
has.
because it is a Disney Plus show and they did market it as a Christmas show. So I feel like I don't know if they'll like be like Grinches about it and be like, nah, he dead. He dead. Like
Well,
His
he's
big
going
old
home.
countdown. He goes to see the children, and they blow him.
He shows
Like
up
he-
Christmas morning, you know.
He went
That
home
would've
all
been-
right. He went back to Jesus in heaven. Like, that's
Oh
my
God! He wasn't just celebrating baby Jesus; he's meeting the baby Jesus.
He's been freed. No, when is the last show play? Is it the week of Christmas? That'll tell us if he's going back. I mean, right off the bat, you know. Is it the last week?
There's 5 more episodes left.
I think
so
the 22nd.
So yeah, he's going
Yeah.
obviously back. It's gonna be the Die Hard thing.
Yeah, it's going to be
yeah.
the
Big
22nd, so it's
fucking
going to be leading right into Christmas. So the Wednesday before Christmas, yeah, he's showing back up.
You guys are right. It's probably going to be a very lighthearted ending.
And George R. R.
Larry
Martin didn't write it, so
Herzog, thank you so much for the $1.49 super sticker of a rose. It's another one. Thank you. Thank you for all the roses. That's so sweet. Well, that's it for the show. We will be back next week. We will be covering Hawkeye probably until The Expanse starts, and then probably after The Expanse starts, we'll switch to The Expanse. Just because I love The Expanse, and I will be watching that show, and I want to talk about things I actually love. So we'll definitely be making that switch. Sorry, what was that, George?
I was saying, then you have Boba.
Oh yeah, that's never happening on this channel because I don't cover Disney Star Wars on this
Book
channel.
of not Boba Fett.
Hell no.
I was waiting for your remark on it.
Oh hell no, that's not happening on this channel at all. Disney
Good.
Star Wars doesn't exist here in this
Fan
space.
fiction. Bad fan fiction.
It is.
Bad.
Yes, The Expanse. I mean, this is kind of like The Expanse is how I started this show with Jayne last year. It was just the two
Awesome.
of us. That was the first show we did. We broke down season 5. So of course we have to do season 6. So like it has to happen. And that's coming out December.
12th,
I forget.
Is it 12th?
Yeah, 12th or 13th.
That's next week. Not this week, but
But
Pretty
that's
soon
all
we're gonna throw a coin to The Witcher. Maybe not on this
Yeah.
one, but I'm looking forward to that
that's
one.
also true.
But
But
who is-
but The Witcher gets released all in one, so
Yeah.
we could do one show of The Witcher if we wanted to. Whereas in The Expanse, it is an episodic thing,
Right.
like it is
Absolutely.
with this. Right? I don't know. Actually, are they doing
They released 2
episodic?
or 3. I think they're releasing 3 at the same time and then once a week.
Oh, okay. They
It's
did that the
typical.
last one too. They did
Yeah,
that the
get
last
everyone
That's
into
how
the season.
Amazon. Originally, when it was done, it was 1 a week. But then when Amazon grabbed it, it
Yeah.
was 2 or 3, and then the rest.
You're right. And yes, it is the last season, at least for a
Except-
while.
Someone told me that my favorite character, the driver of the ship, the Indian guy, that he was fired. Is that
Yeah, he got
true?
Me Too'd.
Was it a real Me Too or Me Too Hollywood Me Too? Like not
We don't
real?
really know,
Oh,
but
okay.
it seems a little. I
Hanky?
don't know. It seems iffy to me, but I don't know. But we don't.
Because
know.
I missed him. I like that.
I like that. I like them too. But anyways, what do you got going on, George? Anything you got going on that you want to plug?
Oh yeah, I'm releasing about 3 videos this week, trying to break 3 to 4 in a week, and so I'm going to be having a Hawkeye review coming out. I'm going to having a Bebop, to be or not to be. I can't stand Cowboy Bebop, and then I'm going to have some pop culture news coming out on George the Giant Slayer. So take a look.
Sweet. Definitely check out George's channel. It's
Thank you for
in
having
the
me.
description down below. Thank you so much, George. You're always welcome on
Thank you.
our Sunday
Love you
discussions.
guys.
Love it. Love you too. And Jayne, what do you got going on?
Yes. I just released my Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City spoiler-free review, so
Okay.
definitely check that out on YouTube
Never heard of that.
at Jayne Theory. And you can also find me on Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram.
There you go.
You're out.
I have her Twitter there, but I mean it's Jayne Theory basically like everywhere, so it's easy to find. And Script Doctor, what do you got going on?
Normal work for the next few weeks until the holidays, and then I'll be going back to making some YouTube videos again right after the Christmas break. It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Excellent. That sounds like fun. Teresa, what you got going on?
Well, still going on with the 2 Towers on Saturday, the book club. Also, Once Upon a Time streams. Gonna do Wheel of Time with Lady Gravemaster.
Oh wow.
And we're going to be doing some crochet, actually. Geeky Crochet and I are going to be sharing some of our geeky things for the next few weeks. We're still trying to get together a time. I've got the streams coming up are on my channel right now at Miss Martin Muses. You can also find me at Teresa2_Martin on Twitter. And I do now have an Instagram. So come say hi to me.
Oh, you have an Instagram now? Okay, I have to follow you. I'll find you later.
What's the Instagram?
What's
was
my
your
Instagram? It's also Teresa Martin, but I think there's like a
Perfect.
number with it because there's like a gazillion of us.
Okay.
I'll follow you. Maybe I already do follow you. Follow me on Twitter too. Yeah, I'm Teresa_Martin on Twitter.
Teresa, do you have a wrench on my channel?
Oh yes, I do. Duh.
Okay, just put your Instagram link or whatever link you want people to follow on in the chat so people can follow you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Especially me, because I want to follow you and I don't know what you're talking about. Do I wish to raid someone? I don't know who's messing around right now. Who's got what going on? Anybody interesting? I don't know. Let's see. There is Mario Golf with Geeks and Gamers. If you guys want to go check that out, go for it. I mean, I like those guys. So they're fun to hang out with, and it's fun to watch video games all the time. So if you're interested, it's on the Drunk 3PO Gaming channel.
Sweet.
Cool.
Doom.
That sounds like fun. He's just like playing Mario Golf in a Santa hat. I mean,
you think he's gonna fall asleep again?
He's really cute. He only has like 30 viewers. So
well, that sounds like fun. Go mess with him.
Yeah, go mess with him. Say hi, say hello.
Let's find out what his handicap is in the game.
Nina Infinity Raid. He's playing with Rosalina. No, wait, never mind. That's D-Day Cobra. That's Jeremy. He's the giant guy with the crown. But anyways, as for me, I will be doing a stream about Cowboy Bebop tomorrow with As Heel versus Babyface. So come and check us out at that. I think that's going on his channel at 3 Eastern. So I've had to do this, and I've been slowly dying all week watching the show. So definitely please come and check us out as Heel versus Babyface. And then tomorrow night, I'm going to be on Midnight's Edge for Toxic Femininity at 8 o'clock. So that you can catch me there with Tom Connors and Lorena Creole and Mandy Summers. And we have a big announcement to make on tomorrow's Toxic Femme. So definitely come and check us out. It's going to be a really fun show. And we have a big, big, big announcement. It's going to be really cool. So yes, definitely come and support us, ladies. Everybody, you guys are awesome. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you if you just hung out. Thank you if you just press the like button and shared the stream. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All my mods, Jennifer Cisco, Agent One, everybody, Eric K, the king of mods is here. Everybody, if you're a wrench on my chat, thank you so much for hanging out. Grumpy Old Ninja was here. I saw him earlier. So everybody, thank you so much. All my members, everybody. Love you guys. And yeah, so check me out tomorrow. And I will be back here Wednesday for Breaking the Narrative, probably, because I don't know if John's going to be feeling up to streaming yet because he wasn't feeling well. But I will be back Wednesday. So I will be here. And let me find an outro for us. What should I play?
Naked Hiddleston. Just saying.
Okay, I'll play that for you. And this is in honor of Scott from Sporking News Podcast because he had a vasectomy.
I'm going to have to saw your arms off. They'll grow back, right? Oh, yeah. Whew.
Okay, love you, Scott. Good night, everybody. Bye.
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 Good night.
I'm so sorry.
I'll survive.
I don't doubt it. You're an excellent specimen. I thought you were empty.
I just moved in.